I didn't know we were going to have Ann Tum Tum in the credits. Fucking amazing, everybody. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Avatar. This is episode 3, Travelers, in our first book. Something has changed since last time we played. Same cast, nothing like that. But we finally have our preview of the full book. So we're going to be going through some fun stuff tonight. We've had some downtime that's going to happen, but not until we have started the show off right and given Tum Tum some airtime. So if the music's too loud at all or anything like that, let me know, everybody. It should be pretty good. Cast, is the music good for you?
Yep.
Not too loud? We're all good?
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's perfect.
We're going to start with Tum Tum. If you all look at the screen or the chat and Discord, our group is going to pick some moves, and the audience is going to get to pick one move during this scene. Group, you can pick from the ones I put in chat, or you can pick from the regular basic moves that a non-intelligent creature could do. Well, as intelligent as Tum Tum is. So keep that in mind. We're going to have 4 moves that we decide upon during this scene we're going to set. But I want to start with the group. I'm gonna paint the scene, and then take us over to the cast, and we'll go from there. Okay. So I hope you guys are all ready for this. It's gonna be a little wild. At the end of last episode, if you all remember, we had left Tum Tum in a situation that is of his own creation. He decided that he was going to help the group because the group went down inside of this deep chasm, and he wanted to do everything he could to make sure that his group was safe and that everything was taken care of. But he's chasing a group of Fire Nation people. So as Tum Tum hops out of the stairwell and lands, he sees a group of men and women in browns and bronze and headdresses and masks fleeing from a cave up in the distance, pulling this huge, it looks like slab, I shouldn't say pulling, but carrying like you would a coffin, pulling this huge slab of rock. Tum Tum knows this isn't right. The music spins up, and Tum Tum leaps into action. Being Tum Tum is curious right now, he has to figure out what's going on. So as Tum Tum hops and lands, I need to know the first action that we are going to take, the first move that we're going to take. Audience, there's a series of them there. I will put them back in here again for you. We have Spinning Tongue, which hits everything in an area, a Belly Flop, Curious Eye, Shiny, and Water Jet and Food. Those are the ones that are options there. So keep those in mind. Damn, I should have done defensive. True, you should have, but you didn't. You didn't do that. So I need audience in chat. Just pick the one that you would like out of there. Just type the one word in there. Spam chat. We'll pick the one that is used the most. Adam, if you'll take us over to the cast, I'm going to give them a moment to decide on that as he lands what he's doing. Hey, everybody, how are we doing today?
Hi.
Hi, welcome back, everyone.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. Little bit of a break. We had a little break. Nothing crazy. We're going to have some downtime after this piece that we do here. But we got our new book. Is everybody pretty excited for the new book? Have you guys looked through it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I
was looking at it on the plane on my way to Ohio. It was great.
Well, I mean, that's the only good thing to do in Ohio. And we also...
Pretty much.
There were escape rooms.
There were escape rooms.
I'm from Michigan. We don't like Ohio.
Yeah, we don't like Michigan.
Originally. I like Adam, but he doesn't live in Ohio anymore. Kidding, sort of. Not really. So, are you? We also found out someone might be an Avatar last time we played.
Is it Tum Tum?
It is Tum Tum.
Yes, it's
Tum Tum's the
Tum Tum.
Avatar.
Avatar,
How did you know? How did you know? But Xena's the Avatar through proxy. So
Yes.
this show takes place.
I am really the
I think
voice of the Avatar.
Well, we don't know who the voice of Tum Tum is. It could be you.
It could,
Probably is her.
Everybody knows now. Everybody knows now, for because we weren't supposed to say anything about how it might be me, because that would lead to guesses, obviously.
Yeah. I don't feel bad about it. So you are the Avatar, maybe, but you definitely picked up a new element. You now have the ability to bend air, which is not something that we've seen an Avatar get out of the gate. Besides Aang, who was an air nomad, it's been the hardest thing for almost any of them to learn. And your stubborn butt has somehow learned the thing that you're supposed to be calm and collected about, which kind of shows the two principles of Xenia pretty well.
Yeah.
And you guys come out of this place as you kind of peer up over after finding out what's going on. Has there been a conversation between the group members about what happened? Have you talked about seeing the ghost, the spirit, Kyoshi?
Nope. Not a word.
And nobody else saw it, correct? We just said nobody else saw it. That was the...
None of us saw
Nope.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to call for a move from you, or I'm giving you a condition.
Okay.
If you're going to try to hide this new problem as you're seeing it from everybody, I would like to know how you're doing so.
I think that her whole game is just, okay, so if no one else saw it, because nobody else is reacting to any of this, and no one seems to question how I got Sormek back up on this balcony, everything's fine. As long as no one else noticed, I can pretend it didn't happen either.
Yeah, lying to yourself. It's a family trait. So what do you use for your move then?
It's one of the only good things I got from my father.
Wow. Savage.
Savage.
Not the water bending. No. Not the heritage of maybe being an avatar. No. Having to adult, apparently.
Yep. Where in the world is this? Okay. There we
So
go.
with the new book, if you look under core moves, they have all your basic moves there now. That's on page 128. They have all your basic moves. You can kind of scroll through them, guide, comfort. They're still kind of the same moves from your character sheets. They're really not a lot of difference there. They just describe them more.
Yeah.
So you're basically lying to your group. You're trying to hold it together.
This almost feels like pushing my luck because it feels like a very hard thing to do.
It's like knowing all your Christmas presents and you're not supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. It's
You're
like
gonna
the
slip up.
ultimate lie.
You're going to
It
slip
will
up.
take everything in me to not screw up something
Cool.
to let somebody know that I know.
Well, give me a roll on that before we go back
that's
to
what-
Tum Tum.
Passion? Oh gosh.
Mhm.
Okay, I have a 1. It's not my worst.
It's not, you
Still
know what?
a
You're right. It's
failure.
not your worst. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, I rolled a 4, so I get a 5.
That's not good. That's pretty bad, actually.
Yeah. Feeling
So
really
how
great
does that
about
work for you with a 5? I'm going to give you a condition. I'm going to give you, it's not one of the games going to give it to you. You look nervous. Because it's something you normally don't look.
that's
Nervous
fair.
is not something that's usually,
Xenia
I don't think I've
trait,
seen
no.
Xenia nervous so far, has she?
No, she doesn't get nervous about pretty much anything.
You are now.
This is like probably the very first big thing in her life since like being in the whole trial situation that she's like
Okay.
really felt like, oh, this might be a thing. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, so as we're like leaving, I guess, she's
Coming
just,
up the stairs up and out of that place, that natural earth cave.
Yeah, she's very quiet. She just sort of keeps looking around at everybody, especially at Sormek. She won't like maintain eye contact with anybody, but she'll just kind of look for a second and then go back to staring straight ahead and trying to navigate her way out of this. It's probably the quietest she's ever been.
Everyone notices that Xenia is being very quiet after leaving that and saving the statue of Kyoshi, looking down into this old village, which obviously you don't have time to go explore. You should probably report back to the village. And as you're all noticing her being off, just off compared to normal, you hear a resounding thud as Tum Tum jumps over top of you the full distance, like a full field, and lands next to something. As you kind of all peer up over the ledge, you see 30 Fire Nation carrying this huge concrete slab. What was the chat? What was the overall group of people? How many did we get? What was the general gist?
Nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything?
Well,
Are you serious?
I said belly flop.
I thought somebody said shiny.
And-
I saw that earlier.
Well, we got two different things going on. We've
Yeah,
got Tum Tum's
shiny.
move, and we've got his mood.
Yeah, his mood is curiosity and jumpy. That is the mood. He is jumpy, so everything's gonna be jumpy.
Right.
But what are we doing for his move that he's gonna do? The one that I put in, I'll put it in chat one more time.
Oh, yeah, it's shiny.
Shiny? Is shiny the overall? Is that the one people are saying? Oh god.
Shiny, belly flop.
Oh no.
Don't trust Conn, but
That's not an actual move yet.
shiny
Oh, no.
food.
Got some water jet in here.
Couple jets now too. Oh boy.
It looks like water jet's got 4 from what I'm seeing.
Okay. Yep.
Not tongue spin. I thought for sure tongue spin was going to take this. It's the most cartoon adult thing I could put in a chat. As he lands, you see him belly hit, and he shoots a jet, carving a group of them off of what they're carrying, kind of dropping the slab on him. As he turns, we get a move now. What would the group like to do? So now the tablet is resting on him. He's got the first 15 off of one side. There's 15 on the other side of Fire Nation people. What is the group going to do? And he's like a field away from you. Tum Tum moves. We get 2 right now.
I mean, this seems like a great spot for the tongue thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Tongue
Yeah.
spin?
Yeah.
What do you want your
Tongue
second
spin.
move to be?
Spin those, just lick all those Fire Nation folks.
Is
Yeah.
tablet
With all-
is this tablet thing like big enough? Because Tum Tum obviously stores stuff in his stomach.
It
big
is
enough that he
like
can
I
do
would
that?
say it's about 40 foot by 15 and about 3
so maybe
foot
a little
thick.
big.
It's huge.
Okay, so maybe a tiny bit big for his
He's got it on him like
storage
he's doing the like hydraulic jack, but he's pretty flat right now because he's let out a jet of water, and he turns and tongue lashes the next group. I need one of you to roll 2d6 for me. It's the first roll that Tum Tum is going to have for the show. You got a surprise attack the first time.
Get him, Monica.
She's Jade. Come on, it's your baby.
He's on it.
I rolled a
cabbage corn guy.
6.
It's not that great. He goes a tongue lash. He gets a couple of them, and they put a fire shield up, and he pulls his tongue back really quick. The next obvious one was water jet. When he gets hit by the fire, he water jets the group to put out the fire, because that's what you do when there's fire. Can I get somebody else in the cast to give me another 2d6? Because I don't think we have a dice roller in chat yet.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's against fire. Go ahead. Give me a roll there, Adam.
Yeah! A 7!
He puts out the fire for half of them, and we get one more move before the group gets to go. What do we want to do for our second move?
Belly flop!
Belly flop.
Yeah, let's
Are we
go.
doing belly flop? Is that unanimous?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As
let's
he
go.
Belly flop.
slides out from it, he hunkers down really low, and you see him swell up and hop, and you just see the shadow form over top of them. I need a roll. A failure means he breaks the tablet.
Oh no.
I'm not rolling. Not me. Nope.
I think somebody else should roll. I think Xenia, since
somebody
it's
else.
Earth, I think we should make Xenia roll.
Okay, I'll roll.
Go
She
on,
looks
Xenia.
nervous for a reason. Maybe she can play it off.
That's all right. That's an 8. That's not a failure.
Yes.
He hits the corner of the tablet and smashes the other one as the 5 Fire Nations that are still standing run from this huge frog slamming down on top of them. As the group kind of scurries up and out to kind of close out this quick scene before we get into the tablet and our downtime, what does the group do? You're about a field away.
Ooh, this is a long way. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
start
have to walk
running.
for
I'm gonna
once.
start sprinting.
Yeah.
Running as quick as you can
Ooh.
to get there. All right. What about the rest of you?
Fire
I'm
skates.
I'm gonna launch myself there, and I'll take whoever with me. But I'm
Well, if you want to take
launching
somebody with
myself
you,
like a
you're going to
catapult.
need a better success than you by yourself.
okay.
Oh,
That's fine.
Are you using skills and training, Xenia?
Yes.
All right. And then,
Which I
Jade,
get
what
a
are you
plus
using?
3.
What move would you like to use to get there quickly?
let's see.
I got a 13.
I just
I'm
want to see
just
if you get
going
there in
to-
time.
Oh my god, yeah, that's a good point here. I am
Before
the
he gets to go
weapons
again.
specialist, so I do wanna use my weapons.
Okay.
I would like to
To get there
imagine
faster?
that I have like some sort of like skateboard on me that I can ride to get there.
Skateboard? I guess you do work for Cabbage. You're out in a field in the dirt. I don't think a skateboard is a good idea.
Dang it. Okay, yeah,
Nice
it's probably
try.
not a good idea.
Zenya's carrying somebody. She can just take you.
Yeah, I can take you with me because I got a
Okay.
13, so I can take somebody.
Okay. Boom.
Okay.
When you
Yep,
do
Jade's going
that,
with
you
me.
got a 13.
Mhm.
Are you ready for the fun part? I'm either
Let's
going to
go.
shift your balance or it's air that goes off. Your choice.
So either great, cool.
Oh no.
Shift my balance. Screw it.
Which direction do you think your balance would shift?
Probably towards self-reliance.
All right.
Because
One
I'm
towards
not trusting
self-reliance.
anybody with this secret.
Excellent.
Um,
You can feel the
question.
air come out and you cover it up with earth.
Sweet, awesome. Did we start
Sounds
the
like
session?
a really bad euphemism for almost shitting
Did
your
we?
pants.
That
Perfect.
is very true.
Did we start at 0 or did we start where we ended last episode?
Start where we ended last episode, but we will even out when we
Okay.
do our downtime.
Okay, so I'm evened out now.
Okay. And Somek, what are you doing? Sormek.
We're in a field, so there's not a lot of water around, right?
No, there'll still be water. It's cranberry bog. They're not being water is like a 10% chance. There's always
Okay.
water.
Okay. And my pump is gone because I sent that back with Dad.
You did.
Um,
You did.
From where I'm at, I'm gonna try and bend water from where I'm at. And I see this tablet, and I see Tum Tum doing his Tum Tumness. I'm gonna try and throw up like a water shield around this tablet just to keep anybody from landing on it.
It's pretty far from you. I'm going to say that it needs to be better than a regular success.
Okay.
It's going to have to be in the next category because it is a field away. That's pretty far
Right.
to be flinging water. But you could do it because you can put your hands in the water, maybe envelop it from there.
Yeah. I'm not trying to throw from here, but trying to manipulate the water way over there. So it is.
But that's a long distance. And
Yeah.
you don't have your tech with you.
Yeah.
2d6, let's see what you get. This sounds like
11.
Avatar music, oh my lord. Perfect. You encapsulate the tablet, so it's around the tablet, and it kind of pushes Tum Tum out. Tum Tum's down, and he's like licking his lips, and he's like looking at all the shinies that are on the different soldiers that are wearing masks right now. And Jade, from a distance, you know this is going to go very poorly. He's going to start stealing stuff and eating it really fast here. But that takes us to our fireman. What are you going to do here? What do you got for me? How are you going to get there, Shay?
Fire skates?
Fire skates? Fire skates across the waters? All right,
Yeah.
well,
So
let's
they're just like
using
steam like coming up behind me.
using your skills and training, I assume.
Skills and training.
Give me a roll, 2d6.
I'm gonna do that thing. Bam! Hey yo, with the focus. Okay, that is an 8.
An 8's enough. You skate across, get there, no problem. As everyone arrives, there's only 3 Fire Nation guys left that are stuck in the water and haven't got themselves up, and they're stuck because Tum Tum's on them. And he's tongue lashes one of the guys in the head, pulls the mask off, and like full flips the guy into the bog as he pulls the mask back and swallows it. To close this out, what would the group like to do? I'm not going to require a lot of checks. It could be one person making a check. You got 3 captives, I would say. Well, trapped people under Tum Tum right now. And this is before we take our 2 months of downtime. What would you like to do? This is a chance to learn stuff, I would say, if you want to learn things.
Yeah, once we get there, I mean, it's fellow Fire Nation people. I'd immediately go up to them and question like what they're doing. Like what were you all doing like below? What is this giant tablet thing? Why does the Fire Nation have all these like fire like blowy up things here in this bog? What are you guys doing? Like I thought we were past all this.
That's a very good question, actually. What do you want to use? What move are you going to use to do this?
I'm gonna do intimidation because technically at that time, because we're still here, I'm still angry. So I do get extra to intimidation.
I forgot your character was a little salty about everything.
Yeah, I'm very angry right now. I'm angry. I'm angry. Yeah,
Which does
I'm
not
gonna
do good for belly rubs.
intimidation.
No, it does not.
Oh, that, my friend, is a 14.
Wow.
14.
Oh, wow.
Aren't
Yes.
you special?
As I just
So-
like my eyes are just like glowing as I get over there too, and almost like through the flame, you see this little of like of a lightning bolt as well too. Like he's so pissed right
Ooh.
now.
Fancy.
They stop. One of them looks up to you and he's like, "Listen, I just was told to do this," and he's got his mask on. The other two in the water do. One's got like his face barely up so he can suck air. The other one's got like an arm up and he's holding on for dear life not to get pushed into the mud. The one you're talking to is like chest up, but his arms are pinned. And Tum Tum looks down and steals the mask off him too. The man's pretty disheveled, dirty, obviously from being in the mud, but like he's kind of beaten up. Like he's a wounded looking person. And he goes, I was told that we were supposed to steal this from the place, I don't know what it was, a city below? Listen, we were just paid.
Just paid by who?
I don't think I should say that.
Paid by who?
Someone in Republic City. They just told us to come out here, steal it, and to ship it back to Republic City. I have the dock. It's supposed to go to the marketplace right outside of Dock 14. I don't have a name, man. Just a drop off. I just have a drop off. Please don't burn me. I can't even bend fire, man.
I just want to get like really close to his face, and
Okay.
if you
Are you intimidating this man?
Oh yeah, I'm continuing this intimidation for sure.
Okay.
And, yeah, and just like if you or any other Fire Nation pull this again, I'm just gonna let this thing eat you.
Look, man. Look. Oh.
And this one behind
and
you, you see her,
you hear-
and you see this one coming up on her little sled of earth. You're not gonna be very happy if you make her mad either.
Look, we're just told to steal this. I don't even know what it says. I can't read it. We're just told to take it. I will never come back here. Trust me. First off,
None
I
of
don't
you.
like being in the water. I
Good.
can't swim.
You should learn so this doesn't happen again. Because I'm intimidating, damn it.
Can we leave? And one guy goes from under the water. He's like, can he get off me?
I reach over and I just rub Tum Tum's belly and I said, Tum Tum, let him.
He
out."
rolls over on top of him, burying them in the water.
Good boy.
Good.
Tum Tum. Jade, he won't get. I don't want them to actually die, Tum Tum. But come on, I'll give you a belly rub. Get off of him.
You're belly rubbing him. He just
Accidental
keeps
murder.
laying there. He just keeps laying there.
I'll run
He's
like,
like
over to the other
in the
side. and
water.
belly rubs. Run over to the other side. Come here, buddy. Come here. Roll the opposite direction.
You can try to command him, or you can wait for Jade to do it when they get there.
How far are we?
Pretty quick between the sled and how you guys are getting there. The only person who won't be there right away will be Stormek because he shielded the tablet from any damage. So you'll be there pretty quick. So if you want to try to do it, you can make a roll or you can use your yip and spend a fatigue. Your choice.
You know what? I was thinking like while Shay's like interrogating these guards, like I really want to assess the situation. If there's anything like someone watching us or if there's anything,
Ooh, give me a roll.
you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
do saying kill him?
No, I rolled a 4. I'm not rolling well tonight. I'm gonna change dice.
Oh,
No.
Is it the cabbage corp? Is the cabbage corp doing you dirty?
Yeah, yeah. Damn cabbages.
I mean, sometimes cabbage corp is like that, yo. You get over there and you look around the place. All you see is the Fire Nation people running down over the hill, off the cliffside, out to the. You do see stacks of a boat, like smokestacks off a boat, but that is quite some distance. They are fleeing as fast as they can be carried.
Ooh.
Other than that, you don't see anything. The 3 that are under Tum Tum drowning. When you get over there, like, can you get them off? You're like, let me assess the situation. They're still drowning. So I will say that they all are knocked out because of you not helping them, which is fine. Tum Tum finally rolls off of them. There's imprints of mud. And Tum Tum kind of gets over and walks over to you, and he's covered in mud, like shakes off and covers you and Xenia in mud.
Oh.
The people who are in there
Thanks,
are
buddy.
you're going to have to help them out. They won't be unconscious because there's no death in Avatar unless it's like way over the top.
yeah.
What would you like to do with these 3? Are you going to let them go as a group? They're scared shitless right now.
They
Good.
say take him back to Dad.
Okay, so that's 1 vote for Dad.
Yeah.
2 votes for Dad? 3 votes for Dad?
Yeah.
Shay?
I think we take
Yeah.
them back to the village.
Yep.
See,
Yep.
time to
I'm gonna take
Tum Tum.
those. Yep.
Yep.
Time to Tum Tum and bring them back. Is that the game plan?
Well, I do tell the group that I see the smokestacks and stuff like that. Like, I do tell everyone that. Like, I don't know if
Okay.
you want to explore it before we go back, or
No,
I-
there's a bunch of them.
There's
I think we
30
take
people
these 3
minus
back.
3.
Yeah. I don't.
And-
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think
That
we
means
can
the
take
boat
that.
probably has people as well.
Yeah.
We need their
We have a
confession
tum-tum.
to if we want to
okay,
bring
Yeah.
any legal things against these folks.
that's
if
true.
anything-
Is anyone going
like-
to go look, or are you just going to take these 3 and head back then? What's the game plan?
Oh,
Take them and head back.
Well, I'm gonna make my way over there and check out this tablet.
So the tablet is starting to sink into the mud. It's kind of on an angle and like slowly sinking into the bog. You know that this is not a cranberry bog. It's just an area that you filter water in and out of. But if it stays in here too long, it's going to take a good portion of the village to get it out. These people were running across the water somehow carrying this thing. I want to point that out. They were running
Can I
across
try
the
to-
bog carrying this thing.
Can I try to get it out?
I mean, you could
Or
try,
at
but
least
it would
stop
be
it
very
from sinking?
difficult. It would be a clock if you want to try to stop it. This would be it's a 6-part clock to stop this from sinking. Otherwise, you can go back to the village, get the
Whoa.
village, and everyone can come and just take it out.
Okay, maybe we should just do that. I'm just
What?
scared of if I screw it up and it gets buried too deep. And
It's
also,
probably
she's
gonna
like
bury
not
a
on her
quarter
game
of it.
right now.
It's gonna. Oh no, it's not
So-
because I'm gonna make you do something if you decide to do this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she's not on her game right now. She is very
I have a
aware that she
suggestion.
barely got away with doing the sled thing without anybody figuring that out. She's very aware.
What's your
Why don't,
suggestion, Sormak?
Jade,
Yes.
why don't you and Shay take the prisoners back and get the rest of the village? You take Tum Tum because that would be the fastest way, and Zinnia and I stay here and earth and water bend and try and get this thing to stay above. Not necessarily trying to bring it out, but maybe we can just hold it here.
Like put dirt under it to
Okay.
like raise it out of the
Yeah,
dirt.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, like
Okay.
pull the water out of it so that it's actual dirt instead of mud, and then lift it up a little bit.
I would
more.
be willing to do a combo package clock for you too if
Yeah.
you'd like to do that.
Yeah, I think we could pull that off. You two can take Tum Tum and go back.
So we'll
okay.
do a quick
Yeah, sounds good.
quick split. So you guys hop back to the village. You two figure out what moves between you two you want to use either in Discord or in chat in here. But as Jade and Shay hop back to the village, they're already beginning the cleanup process from the fire gears that were here. And in there, you see the one-armed Fire Nation guy who works for you, Zufo. Works with you. I shouldn't say for you. Works with you. And he's helping clear these up, but he is scraping the paint off of one of them as you land in the village. I had the village pulled up, so if you want to pull the map up, you can. I have the village pulled up for y'all. So you land here. This is the two of you. And then you're on this map somewhere if you'd like to find yourself.
Right here. I'm right beside Tum Tum.
Yep, and then here's Fire Nation. Yep. Zenya's not there. Tak will be there. And there'll be some other Water Nation people walking around. But there are fire gears everywhere. They've put out all the fires now. They've already started rebuilding everything that's stone that they can to really kind of contain things. And Tak would see you all land, but 3 soldiers down, poof, strapped to Tum Tum. And they wake up on landing. And they're like, and Tum Tum goes, blah, blah, and spits out the 2 masks in the middle of the village. Tak walks over and goes, whoa, what? Hold on a minute. We were under attack. You hop back with 3 Fire Nation? And he wipes the face of one of them. When he pulls his hand back, a bunch of paint comes with it, like oil paint. And he rubs it through their hair and rubs it. And you can see their clothes are freshly dyed.
What was the was there a color underneath this is it clear what kind of color
just plain white clothes to make it easy to dye them, like whites, light tans, things like that. And they literally dyed and painted their clothes to look like Fire Nation.
Wow.
Tak goes, what is this? What did you just bring me? What happened? We got attacked by automatons, and now you're bringing back prisoners?
Well, we went to investigate what was happening in what did you call it, Bog 5, and we saw these Fire Nation running with a giant tablet that they got from some underground cave or something. And currently your kids are out there. They're trying to keep this tablet up. We have no idea what the thing is. And then
wait, you have just carry the tablet back.
It's huge. It's bigger than Tum Tum. We were hoping that maybe a few of you guys could actually come and help us get it back.
Did it come from the village? Did it come from the underground village? Did it come from the temple?
Yeah, we're guessing. Yes, what she said.
We're gonna need everyone's help.
Oh no. Okay. You head to the bog. You on the hill, the one that we drain out of. And he leans into one of these, and we are gonna have a talk. He unties only one of them and drags them into the broken table area that has never been repaired with a fight between everyone when they broke up the council, and he drags them into that room. And you just hear screaming. When the guy comes back up, his clothes are cleaned of all the paint. He just scared the living bejesus out of this person for 2 minutes straight. But really, he just washed him with water the entire time. He did nothing bad to him. He just scared the man because he can't swim, and it works. He comes out and he goes, we need the tablet, and I think I know what's going on. Can you please gather the rest of... Just grab the rest of them and bring everyone back here and bring the tablet to the edge of the village. We have no way to put it back down there. We have to have a talk. Where's my daughter at and where's my son? Are they both out there?
They're both out there trying to keep the
tablet. Yes, they're still down there.
And the camera cuts back to both of them on each side. How do you want to stop this tablet from sinking into the mud and being lost?
There you go.
I would actually like to assess the situation.
Okay.
So I'm looking to see, if there's a tipping point or something, using less waterbending and more my tech knowledge to see
leverage and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and kind of pinpoint an area where Zinnia can do the most help with.
So is it skills and training?
No, assess the situation.
Assess the situation. Okay. Yep. All right. Give me your roll.
If that worked, I don't.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with that. Give me your assessment.
13.
That's awesome. Between her raising some of the rocks that are still in the bog up to hold it up and shifting their positions, you can probably get it out of the water long enough for the tribe to show up. With that information, I will give her a +2 to her roll.
Sweet.
Because you got a 13 plus.
Oh.
Okay, cool. So, you said you're giving me +2?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 13 because I rolled an 8 and I get +3 to
Wow.
skills and training related.
That's awesome. Would you like to shift your balance or use air?
This is going to
only
be the
one
longest
witness
night of my
now.
life.
Oh,
I'll,
yes,
shift my
sir.
I'll shift my balance again because you said we're gonna go back to center over the break. So that's
I said
fine.
you may go back to center over break.
We're gonna hope I go back to center over break.
Or you might permanent shift. We'll see.
Okay, I'll
She
shift
would not
another
shift back
towards
over the break.
self-reliance.
Okay, one more towards
exactly.
self-reliance. I'm going to say it's going to have to go through towards self-reliance.
Yeah.
So you hide it again. You see the water bubble. You cover it up. And I'm assuming you're just pulling all the rocks up out of the ground to kind of
Yeah.
make like a
Yeah.
table, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, I just want to bring up as much rock and solidify some mud to sort of make a platform for it to sit on.
So I would like to offer a little information to Somek. Somek, you are well studied. You went to college. You've studied a bunch of stuff. When you're reading over this tablet, it's old. You remember how between you and Shay, you figured out that this stuff is all before the Avatar. It's basically during the genocide time frame is when Kyoshi was around, which is the air nomads all being kind of exiled and murdered off. The tablet is a bunch of dates changing, and they're all names of earth-bending families where they believed Avatar, I don't want to say genetics, but like Avatar possible states were within those families. One of those families on there, the name like 4 ago, is Zenya's mother's name.
Zinnia, your family name is on here. I mean, not like our but your other
Potential?
not our family, but the other family.
The part that doesn't relate us.
Right? Yeah. Your other half, your mom's.
Oh,
Now-
weird.
I'm going to ask you, what is your family's last name? Yeah, because you know what? You never gave it to me, so I'm putting you on the spot.
That's because I don't give my characters last names. I literally had this conversation with someone yesterday.
Well, that's a mistake. You should have done that because I just asked it. I'll give you a minute. Go find that random generator.
Hold on.
While you're looking that up, at the top it says potential avatar state. I think is what it would be in like old script for the Avatar verse of the world. And it's the family name of Kai, which is her biological mother.
Oh.
With that, everyone does show up as you guys are having this conversation. When that question is asked, I'm gonna have to ask Xenia, this is shifting your balance. If you like it, you can take it towards self-reliance, or you can try to resist it. Because he's basically calling out that your family is on the Avatar platform. Like,
No, I'll try to resist it. Just because my family's name is on it doesn't mean anything.
sure, yeah, exactly. In the area where your family is. No, that wouldn't mean anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you would like to try to resist that, you're welcome to do so. Good luck.
Cool. What do I need to roll?
What?
Well, you're doing the resist balance. So if you're going through, they have all your basic moves, and then you're going to have your balance moves. Balance moves begin on 138, and you're going to resist the balance. So I'm gonna see if you can do it. You're denying a call out right now.
Yes.
If you fail on hit, act as they say or mark a fatigue. On a 10 plus, their words hit hard. You must also shift your balance towards the called on principle. On a miss, you stand strong, clear condition, clear fatigue. So basically, you're denying them. So you want a critical. If you get a critical, you deny everything.
Okay. What do I add
13
anything
plus.
to this? I don't see if it says if I add it.
Well, how are you reacting? That's how you determine which one of your abilities you would use. It wouldn't be skills and training, but what of your core stats would you be doing? Probably passion, I would assume.
Yeah, probably passion. I got an 11. Because I rolled
good.
a 10 and I have a 1.
So that means
11.
that they do it to you. You're denying. You're resisting the shift to your balance. If you would like to clear your condition that I gave you earlier, you're welcome to do that. Or you can shift your balance back towards your other principle, or you can take a fatigue.
I'll just shift my balance back because I feel like she, no matter what, is still going to be nervous in this situation, so it doesn't make as much sense for me to clear the condition. So she's back to center.
All right. So what do you say?
Yeah, that's really weird. I actually I haven't heard anybody use my mom's last name in a really long time. But I don't know
again
about
what her last
anybody in
name
the
was.
family.
What was her last name?
It's Kyan.
Kyan?
No, Kai. Oh, her last name, her first name is Kai. I forgot I made her first name Kai. Then just go with Sun. That's the other one that I picked off this list because I did look up the avatar name generator list.
S-O-N? S-U-N?
Yeah.
S-O-N-N?
Yep.
All right. Kai-san?
S-O-N.
Okay.
Son.
That's...
I would like. I mean, if this was D&D, I would say insight check. But basically, I'm trying to look through these. Comfort and sport doesn't really seem to fit. So here's my end goal. I want to see if I get a read for how nervous she is about her name being on there, as everybody's approaching, and if I get. Basically, if I succeed in seeing that she's nervous about this, I want to use some quick water bending to wipe the name off.
It's carved.
Like I can't dive a groove through
I
there.
mean, you could damage the thing if you're willing to carve it out.
Oh.
That would take
That's brotherly love.
water
right there.
takes a long time to affect stone, but you could do that. You could do that with a good roll. My question though is this: are you trying to shift your balance back towards trusting you? Because then it would be a balance shift. Instead of being self-reliant, be like, hey, rely on me. Like, what is this?
Yes,
or are you
actually,
just trying to read as she's nervous?
No, that's perfect. I want to call out. Is it a call out? No.
Yeah, that's right. You could call. You would not be denying, but you would be trying to shift their balance by calling somebody out. Be like, listen.
Yeah. I would like to try and shift her balance towards trust in some way here.
All right. Well, then, if you are openly calling someone out to live up to their principle, aka the Avatar. Give me a roll.
Your balance is a 0 right now.
She's a 0.
Yeah, my balance is center.
And what are your two principles?
Self-reliance and trust.
Trust is what we're looking for, then.
I got a 6.
So when you openly call someone out on hit, they are called out to act as you say. They have to do it. But you did not. On a miss, they can demand you act in accordance with one of your principles instead. What are your two principles?
Tradition and progress.
What would you like to do? He's basically saying, I mean, you're on this slate. Trust me.
Come on, Zinnia. You act like you know something about this. You can trust me.
I can't tell you why.
Would you like to deny it and inflict something, or just ignore it entirely?
I'll just ignore it. It is fine that my name is on this tablet.
And
It doesn't mean
as,
anything. It is a
as that is ignored,
suspicion.
the family shows up along with Jade again and Shay, and the scene cuts to black. 2 months are going to pass. A lot of stuff is being brought back to this village, and there's some important moments we're going to handle here before any form of a break. One, we all are going to do some training during this time frame, but they're going to be RP, in-moment things. Everyone has picked the new stuff because the new book has opened up some crazy fun things for us. That's the one thing we're going to do. Mm-hmm. If anybody wants to do them together, like they're training together, let me know if that makes sense. Like, if 2 people are training with water, if 2 people are training with air. Oh, wait, there's only one of you who can do that. Someone's training with fire. Something along those lines, let me know. That's the first thing.
I can't. We're pretending that I can't, though, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to you. You're going to try to pretend this entire 2 months. And then I would like to know as well, is anyone leaving the village to do their training? That's the first thing I need to know. Is anyone leaving the village to train?
No.
So staying for 2 months, Jade, are you staying for 2 months?
I'm kind of on the fence here.
Well, you could leave. That's up to you. Totally fine. Because it's going to be 2 months, you're gone, and you come back. So you can do whatever you would like.
If Shay leaves, I think I want to go to Cabbage Corp.
I kind of figured.
And do some more training just because, and find out what's going on. And
Yep. What about Shay? You staying in the village, or are you going back to the city?
Shay would go back to the city, but during that time, he would want to make visits. Obviously, during that time as well, too. But yeah, he would definitely head back to the city.
Well, we're going to probably start in the city. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. The second thing is going to be as a group. I want to know how you're handling the tablet. Because Tak is taking the tablet. There's no way to get it back into there safely without damaging, because he's very worried about damaging it. And he's thinking about building a structure next to the swamp to put it in. There are a lot of questions that raise up in the city. People worried about not only the tablet, but the legacy of the family names there that are on there for the Earthbenders that have joined. I'm going to give one piece of knowledge to the entire group, and you can do what you want from there with the tablet. The village has been hiding that underground city because all of the Earthbenders that are part of this tribe, because it was all water originally, when all the nations united, that group was found in the bog, underground, and they had been training groups on that tablet in earthbending for avatars. And that is what that village underground originally did. They trained earthbending for avatars. That is what they were dedicated to. Think of them like monks, like way up there monks for earthbending. When those names passed numerous times after Kyoshi and no one showed up, they kind of came to the surface and began living a life thinking that no family was showing anything. And with Korra around, they're like, it's just not happening. Korra's been gone for a year. The worry has come back around. That tablet was getting stolen, and people are starting to question, is there someone left here that would be suitable and show any form of potential? Xenia would be the last person they would think of because she was gone for so long and rebellious. But you're training here for 2 months, and you're going to have to hide it if you're going to continue hiding it for 2 months.
Okay, great.
Should have said I'm going to the city. Fuck that one. Welcome to the Frank House Dilemma. So I'll let you think about that, but I want to start with the two going to the city. Are you going to travel together to Republic City?
Yeah, I feel like
I think so. We'll bring a Tum Tum. Tum Tum will be our means of transportation.
Totally could do that if you would like. They would just up their guard duty. That means that that would mean that Theo, the kid, and the two, and Huss, the warrior, they're all kind of going to pick up extra shifts while you're gone, which is fine. They're fine. It's going into spring by the end of 2 months, the beginning of what would be equivalent to March for us. It's starting to blossom. Everything is getting nice. The scene I want to have is, one, you're going to Cabbage Corpse, not DBZ. Cabbage Corp. Are you going to green or purple?
I'm going to green because I want to find out what happened to my cousin.
Because I will say when you show up, they are divided and on opposite sides of Republic City now.
What the heck? This is
Divided.
not how
When you
it
show up,
was when I.
There's like a sign
Yeah.
when you show up and it says Purple Cabbage Corp East, Green Cabbage Corp West.
What happened here?
That would be something
This
you'd
is
have to ask one of
craziness. Yeah.
them. So would you go to purple or green to start your 2-month? And what are you training in with advanced training?
So let's see here.
I don't know what you picked for your advanced training, so or your maneuver. And if you don't know and you're looking, I can go to Schaefer now, which is fine.
Okay, go to Shay first. I know
All
I
right,
marked
Shay,
it
so you-
somewhere here.
You both arrive in Republic City. Here, I'll take us to the Republic City image. You can put the map up here. Give me a sec. Ta-da! Republic City. Boo-doo. So where would you be going in Republic City to train, and who are you training with?
I would actually head back home and talk to my mother because my mother is actually from. She is a firebender as well too, so she kind of taught me everything. And that whole being angry thing was the first time that Shay really felt like that spark inside of his body.
Okay.
So really, like going to her to be like, "Mom, what's up?" And
What's your mom's
kind
name?
of. My mom's name is Elsie.
Elsie. Do you have a last name?
I do. Halden.
How do you spell that?
HAL.
Uh huh.
The dash and then DEN.
How old's your mom?
She's actually. I mean, I'm 18, so I would
So
say
30s,
she-
40s.
Yeah, I'd say she's like about 35.
Okay.
No, yeah, no, 30,
So-
38. She's like 20. She's 28 years. She's 20 years older than me. Kind of like me and my
Okay,
mom.
so to make the scenes really tight and concise, the goal is you show up, and I'm assuming, how does this conversation happen? Like, are you coming back over dinner? Where do you want to set this scene?
Yeah, it would just be at home. You know, I had been gone.
Or is
for
it like
few
at a
days.
match? Do you guys go watch a pro bending match together?
I would bring that up to her personally, just because because of our relationship. Also,
Okay.
it also coincides with, you know, I was talking about that ring that I wear as well too, is something that she gave to me. And during that time when Shay was really angry, that ring just started glowing like red hot. Because it's
Okay.
It's something that she kind of gave to him, knowing that because firebenders are always very passionate, and it's something that that ring, the way that it's made, if they start losing control, that the ring starts to glow, and it's a sign anybody else around the family itself, they can kind of calm each other down, and just letting her know that it was burning, that, you know, I felt this something happening, which was really interesting. I got really angry, and just like that spark, bringing it up to her. Yeah, it
is
is
there a
kinda like a
father
mood
around,
ring.
or is it just mom?
No, my father's around. He actually owns a shop in town. His name's Pan.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that so?
Yeah.
Is that so? Hold on, I didn't do it for this, but it's gonna be his place now. I think this should
Hey!
happen at the shop.
Okay. Yeah, it can happen at Dad's shop.
So, what does Dad make?
So Dad, it's almost like thrift shoppy, but he has a lot of sweets. He's always had a sweet tooth, so it's kind of like a candy
Okay.
shop almost. But
And what's your
candy
dad's
shop
name?
general store. His name is Pan.
So Pan is busy working, making like hard fire candies, like spicy, like red hot styles, things like that. Is your whole family sports fans? Is this like a whole pro bending team fan? Like, you know how some
Oh,
families
yeah.
like all for it? All right.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is making
Yeah,
candies for the fire ferrets right now.
Perfect.
He's
Yeah,
never done
yeah,
it. He
would
just
be.
got a contract. He's making family candies for the ferrets. They're little tiny ferret heads, and inside they have like a really spicy hot like gel. And he's been patenting this to get it nailed. Your mom talking to you while he's working on this, just sweating away, doing a whole bunch of stuff in the shop. She goes, "Well, listen, Shay, you know we are a very passionate family. We all go to pro bending, yell and scream and have fun, but it's all in fun. We at least for us. And You've seen it. We get passionate. We've been kicked out before from the pro bending, games, but we are always allowed back in. We don't ever hurt anybody. Did you feel angry enough to hurt somebody during this?
Wanted to. I mean, it's.
Did you feel a little spark, like static in your blood?
Yeah. I mean, it was other firebenders. Like that. I went back with my friend Sormak, and they were doing something to their village, and I didn't like that. I mean, you know me in history, that sort of stuff. What all Fire Nation did and everything, and I don't want to be a part of something like that.
Don't destroy history. We've said that for years. Do you did you hurt him, or did you control yourself?
I think I scared him. Most definitely, I didn't hurt anybody. I think that was more Tum Tum, which you have to
intimidation.
Tum Tum's pretty awesome.
Who's Tum Tum? I'm assuming you explain who Tum Tum is.
Oh yeah, Tum Tum's like the coolest. Yeah, just go on this big rant of this giant elk frog from like the village outside, and yeah. I'd give her the whole rundown.
Oh, that's the tribe that your friend. Oh yeah. They're like the big froggy. Okay, never seen one. That's kind of weird. But listen, we should probably talk about our family line a little bit. My question to you then is, what did you pick for your training? Because I have a feeling I know what you picked. Because I know there's only one thing you pick as a firebender. I thought you might pick one of them, but I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to start learning some lightning bending.
So who out of your family knows it? Mom or dad?
Definitely mom. Dad was a bender, but dad was also one. He was an earth bender, but he got his powers taken away from Amon like some other people did, and he was not able
never
to
got it back when they went through.
Yeah. So but he was strong-willed enough that he was able to like live, without doing it. He's a strong-willed guy. He gets his shop's been broken into. He's been able to calm himself and stuff as well. But definitely mom.
All right. So your mom's the fire before the storm. Your dad's the one that keeps everything grounded. Check.
Mm-hmm.
So going through this, she takes you into the back room. She moves a bunch of barrels out of the way. She opens up the floor and climbs down into it. Below the shop, where everything is situated, there is a electrocoil engine in the middle of this basement. Below the shop. You haven't realized for years the power for the lights didn't come from the city. Mom keeps it charged. Because I will tell you, training in this is going to hurt. I've hurt myself numerous times. You asked some of those times how I got burned. I said I was making candies with your dad. It's this thing. And she points to this huge brass contraption of numerous rods and nodules off the end of it. And she puts two fingers together and grabs one of the lightning pieces, pulls it, and shoots it out of her other fingers at one of the random plates on the wall. And you realize anytime you've seen flickering of lights, things like that, it wasn't a power surge. It was mom down here training.
Very cool.
What did you get for your roll to learn?
I have done my roll yet. Okay.
You're doing it live? Oh, okay.
We're doing it live.
In this game, when you get your training, you have to roll to actually learn it. If you fail, you have to either do it again. In our case, because it's 2 months, it's going to take more time, and he'll continue training with some problems.
Okay.
So what you got for me?
And then I'm rolling that with... what am I rolling that with?
It'd be passion, because it's fire, and skills and training.
Skills and training. Okay. Stick two fingers up. I kind of like take a deep breath. I kind of like look at mom, and I get... Yeah! It's a 12! Ah!
So I have to ask, how does the power work normally?
So for just for me, or how would it actually
in general? How does it normally work? Like, how does the actual power work?
So
when you use the lightning, what happens, and is there any cost to it?
I don't believe so. Because I was looking through everything with it. I know it was always something that was if there's lightning that's happening, that you can actually direct it, obviously, like through your body and everything. I always felt like for Shay it would be something when his anger boils up. It was kind of like something that would once he hits that angry thing, that is kind of like the
spark.
The spark, yeah, the spark that kind of turns on, and that then he's able to create that as well.
So for lightning bending, firebenders who have mastered lightning bending are able to separate negative and positive energies, bringing them together again in a furious surge of electricity. Some of these benders also have the ability to channel and redirect lightning. Not all. Because of your training, and you got a 10 plus, I will say you have the ability to redirect as well.
Sweet.
Normally it's one or the other. You have the whole gambit. Plus, it's kind of how your mom trains down here.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, the camera kind of fades to black of your dad blowing through a rod, filling up a cavity for the firefighter like a candy balloon, and then pouring the gel in. And they're like these little candy things that he wraps in wax. And you eat them by lighting them on fire, and it warms the candy, and then you eat them. And he lights it on fire, and he's like, perfect. Oh, he starts blowing it out, and he blows the smoke out. Which Cabbage Corp are we at, and what are you training in? What did you pick, Jade? What are you training in for weapons?
I really wanted to add boom, which
What's
is like
boom?
a small
I have no
explosive.
idea.
So it's when you throw a small prepared explosive in the midst of your foes.
Bombs.
It's like kind of like a cabbage bombs.
Oh my lord! What page is boom on? Do you have it pulled up?
That's 286.
All right, boom on 286. So who did you go to? Green or purple?
I went to green because my cousin was supposed to be there, and now he's in jail somehow. But
So
I
what's your
need to
cousin's-
find out what
what's your cousin's
happened.
name? What's your cousin's name?
His name is Ren, and his last
And
name's the
is
same as
he-
mine,
Which is what?
Gunlan, which means wild cabbage.
wild.
She's a wild cabbage.
Wild cabbage.
Wild cabbage. Oh my lord. So when you show up, you get to the front gates. The gates are like ajar. The place does not look like it's in good repair. This is the original spot. Like everything was done, but now it is a shell of what it once was. When you open the gate and come in, there is one person sweeping the courtyard, and that is the only person you see in the entire complex.
Oh no.
He looks up, he's like, oh, welcome to Cabbage Corp.
Where is everybody?
Right here.
This is not what it looked like the last time I was here. Where is my cousin Ren?
Ren. Oh, all the people got arrested.
Arrested for what? What's happening
Yeah,
here?
everyone got released, and then everyone got arrested again, and they're still arrested. They're in jail.
Are you
Been in jail for a while.
there?
I'm the only one who was cleared of charges.
Okay.
I'm the janitor.
Okay. Who's in charge now then? If you're the
Me.
janitor.
And me. It's me.
I don't think so. Okay.
No,
Something
it
happened
is.
here.
Trust me. Here, I'll show you the paperwork. And he starts walking towards like one of the mini buildings. And camera cuts to y'all be in the building as you're talking. And he goes, see, look. And there's this paperwork stacked everywhere. And you can see like fines, foreclosure, no's to patents. Everything is going wrong.
Oh dear.
And who are you?
Well, I'm
Who are you?
Jade. My family owns Cabbage Corp.
Jade.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry,
Ren's
I don't remember the
cousin.
name. He starts like flipping through paperwork, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the original group. Yeah, they're all in jail. They all went right back. I mean, you can get a right to see them, but that trial has been delayed time and time. Hey, hold on." And he like digs through paperwork and pulls out a paper and he hands it to you. He says the trial has been moved 18 times.
18 times? What is going
Yeah,
on
that's
here?
I don't know. I was just said, I'll keep it clean and keep the lights on. And that's what I've been doing. Went back to selling cabbages in the streets.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to just go to prison and see if I can find my cousin Ren.
You can only see them on the first and the last Monday of the month.
Okay, what day is it?
I don't know. You can fast forward to whichever one you would
First.
like. It would be one of these 2 months that you have. You can train.
Okay, so if that's the case, then I'll just train for Boom. Can I pick another technique too, or just
You
one?
get one. This is just one for this. This is a freebie that I'm giving.
Okay.
Out. He goes, well, if you want to stay that whole building or that whole building or that whole building, not that one. That's where I stay. It's like the smallest one, like the tiniest building. He's like, and that whole building are all open to sleep in. That's a factory. I wouldn't recommend that, but those over there have bedding. They're perfectly clean. If you want the lights on, though, you have to give me a minute. I have to go run over to the foundation, turn the power back onto that building because we keep it all off to keep the bill real low.
There is.
I'm not
however,
very
on the
trusting of this person. I'm not very trusting.
Would you? If you're not trusting, is there a move you would like to do versus this person?
I would like to assess the situation here.
Give me a roll for assess the situation.
Please, please be a big.
On the other side of Cabbage Core, there's actually a raid happening from Slit Lid as well too.
Oh, raid came in. Well, hey, welcome to Purple Cabbage Corp. It's a party over there. Some guy named Vok is definitely running a party.
What?
He's Purple Cabbage Corp, remember? So what did you get?
Okay, well, I got a 7, which is awesome.
That's enough to succeed. He's trustworthy. You do know he was one of the janitors here. If he is running the show here, they obviously left him in charge. He didn't get arrested.
Okay.
He's like, listen, I'll be happy to take you on the first or the last Monday. Hello, dog. Hi, how are you?
Oh.
So I'll be happy. There's a dog running around. I will be happy to take you. You just have to understand one thing. If we go there, I have tried to get them released numerous times. Numerous. And I've been denied every time. You're going to need somebody who understands law. I just don't. And we don't have the money to pay for someone who understands law. That whole building's manufacturing. You can look through that. You can call people that you want, but you're going to need to find something to help them out. Now, with that said, I'm going to give you a clock that during our downtime actions that you can try to bring this back to court and actually get the green taken off. For training, 100% within manufacturing, you can find cabbage bombs somewhere. 100% and train with them. There's probably a stockpile of things in one of these areas to train. Now he's like, but you can stay here. There's a room. You can. I can run hot water. Just give me about 2 hours to put the plumbing back up over there. I took all the plumbing off to run it to another area, but I can run it over there. And as you look around, all the plumbing is ran like extension cables through the center of the courtyard. It's not underground anymore. He just has it everywhere.
Oh my god. DIY'd.
DIY'd and back. Like, not good. I will say, though, when the camera cuts from you training with the bombs and the first explosion goes off, over at Purple Cabbage, Vac is there and he's like, all right, everybody, we are going to have our own group for our pro bending. We found some people. Ain't the smartest, but they're going to play for us. Don't you worry. They'll be in the city shortly. I've sent invites with jerseys, and we will have a team before the season starts. Don't you worry about it. It's going to be fantastic. And sure enough, that place is packed. Whatever he bought and rebuilt, it is what Green Cabbage used to be. No dust bunnies like your place. It is a full-fledged area. It is obviously that Vac is either behind it or someone above him is behind the closing of Green Cabbage Corp. With that,
okay,
the camera cuts to the two people in the village training. Before we get to the possible avatar that may or may not be that denies it for her entire life, Sormek, what are you training in back in the village?
So being the rebellious youth that I am,
okay.
I left home right about the time that I was really getting my bending going. So I learned some stuff as a kid, but then I went to the city and I've kind of bastardized some of my traditional bog bending techniques with weird things that I've kind of figured out and done. But this, now that I've kind of patched things up with old dad, I go to him and ask him how to do some things. And considering
Okay.
it's the winter and this is time for icing over
Winter
the bog,
into spring. Yep.
I'm gonna spend the first part, learning how to bend ice, like do ice techniques over the bog there, and
So
lean
how
into
you
some of the
freeze
traditions.
your crops, making sure everything is good for the harvest, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So
In
Taco's,
particular-
he's super proud, first off, that his kid is finally coming to him to learn something. Instead of being just a random reason to be in the village. You're actually here, and he is also willing to learn your tech as a trade-off. He's like, well, kid, we have to freeze a lot of this stuff or we're gonna have damaged crops. And with everything's going on with this tablet and your sister being here and both her mothers being back now, there's a lot of craziness going on within our tribe. We need to keep things calm. So everything we're doing with the crops has got to go perfectly. Because if it doesn't, it's just one more thing. And since we're no longer a council and is voted on by the village, we have to make sure that the centennial year goes off without a hitch. I could use the extra hand. And if you think you got some tech that can make this easier, I'd be willing to try it out. For teaching you.
As happy as that makes me, Dad, I really can't. This is basically all I've wanted for the last 5 years, but all of my tech has to do with bog filling and cranberry harvest. I actually don't have anything developed for freezing.
Well,
So
you got
I
2
think
months.
this might be one of those situations where tradition is better than progress.
Ooh, okay. So he was going to push you towards progress and you're pushing towards tradition. Are you denying his push?
Weirdly, yes. Like this is
I
a
can't
complete
believe
ass
that this
backwards
is-
from everything.
Yeah.
But
Not what I
just
expected.
think in this situation, this is one where he's actually like kind of growing as a person and looking and going. Sometimes the tradition is the more, there's a reason why it's a tradition, and there might not always be a better way to do it. And I can't learn how to improve on it if I don't know how to do it in the first place.
All right. Well, with that said, he is calling you out on your tradition, telling you progress is what he's looking for, and you're saying, no, I need tradition, so give me your deny call. This is not what I ever expected to hear from Cermex's house. This is not planned for me. So you are denying the call out. Give me your roll. What stat would you think you'd be using to deny this call out?
Well, I went ahead and rolled it in the roller. I got a 10.
Let's see here. Are you an idealist? No, you're not. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I was just making sure. They have something extra in here now. So what did you get in the roller? I don't have that up because it'd be on screen.
10.
10? That's pretty good. With that, you are successful. On a 10 plus, their words hit hard. Your words hit hard. Would you like to shift his balance back towards tradition?
Oof. No.
For this moment to teach you.
Sure.
I mean, this is tradition. Freezing is tradition for them.
No. I think we're at a pretty happy place. I think by me denying it and him still pushing for it, that just leaving it there where we're basically going like this. I think it's a positive place to be for our relationship.
All right. Well then, I guess I'll. You're gonna need gloves, and you're gonna need the insulated shoes, kid. He walks over and he grabs these boots that are filled with like fur, and the boots are stone, and the gloves are just insulated like what would it be? Seal whale blubber. And they gives them to you and says, here you go. You're going to need these to keep yourself warm. It's going to hurt the first couple times if you do it wrong. Try not to freeze your fingers. Your mom almost lost one that way. Or your arm if you're really bad. You ready? And he like walks out into the water. Give me your roll.
You know what? Let's switch over to some physical.
Unless you
dice
already
here.
did roll previous to the show, which was definitely allowed.
That's a 9 on the dice, and then I get to add different questions. That's 13.
Above and beyond. Ice bending. What is under ice bending normally? How does it normally work?
So there's a couple different things. The one I was looking at is creeping ice.
Okay.
It's carefully and stealthily extend a sheet of ice out beneath foes of your choice. They become impaired as long as they remain on the ice, and you become prepared to engage with them.
Okay. Is there any crit version of that, or is it just that only?
Nope, that's it. That's
I
the
would say
creeping ice.
I would say if you roll a crit, it also causes a fatigue
Okay.
because it's so cold. And that's like your extra training. Like you guys are good at flash freezing the fields and making sure that the cranberries are solidified in their spot above, there's nothing that can harm them. Creatures can't get to them. And you're really good at picking out how to freeze things, like really selective. And it fatigues them, aka making them tired so they don't get injured during it. It freezes the fish into a stasis. It doesn't harm them, and so on. And then the camera pans over before we go to break to our avatar in denial.
With another raid!
Xenia, where would you like
Raiders!
Thank you for the
Unmade
raid.
Gaming. Thanks, guys.
We're in the middle of making an avatar, possibly, maybe not. We don't know. Where do you see this happening within the village? And are both your moms there for this, or just one?
I think that we just do it on like the biggest piece of flat land that my mom can sort of like the biggest piece of flat land that's near the factory, near the cranberry factory, where we process everything. You know what I mean?
We can do that. I can
and
100% do that.
I think probably both of my moms are there, and Finn is probably there too. So like, Nayo is probably sitting over on the sidelines, like with Finn, just watching me practice,
Okay.
and then Kai is like actually physically up.
So it is pouring as this happens. Your mother is stern, you said, right? Very, very. This is how things work.
Yes.
Have you worked with her before? Has she ever trained you before?
Yes, she's who's done most of my training.
How did it go the last time you trained with her? So I have an idea of what they are like.
She is very like militant sort of about the whole thing. When I get it right, she's very like quick to tell me that I got it right. But if I got it wrong, she's very quick to drill into me how I got it wrong and how I should be better next time.
Okay. So in an area around the fields, they have processing is not happening right now. It's during the cold months. It's like a sleeting rain right now. And your mom says, well, you wanted to learn. We're learning. You're not going back home for the next 12 hours. And we're going to do this every day until you figure out how to make this work. What are you trying to learn from her?
Metal bending.
Is your mother a previous officer?
She at one point was an officer, and she stopped when she came to be part of the tribe. So now she helps with the metal in the factory,
like making the barrels and everything is in,
making
and
the
stuff like
barrels
that.
and everything.
She says, "What does she call you? Does she have a nickname for you?"
Maybe a few times in life she's called me Zenny, but like outside of that, it has always been Xenia. I have never gotten a pet name from her. I have never gotten anything that would show too much love.
So she says, Xenia, you're back in the tribe. You failed before. This is the time to not do that again.
Yes, ma'am.
So, let's get started. Your roll is at a -4
Great.
to hide airbending.
Yeah.
If you are willing to not
Oh.
hide airbending, I will let you roll it at
Oh.
your normal roll.
Okay.
I think that is fair.
Sure.
We'll give it the condition hiding or secrets. We'll call it secrets. We'll give it the
Okay.
condition secrets, -4. Because it just makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. And I get the +2 for answering my questions for training.
Yeah, sure.
So it would technically be like a -2.
You got it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Please roll boxcars or please roll. No, actually, I would love if you roll 2 1s. That'd even be better. I'd like you not to succeed. That'd be
I did
hilarious.
not roll 2 ones, but I did fail.
The first time you do this, trying to hide it, you go to bend metal and all you do is pound the piece of metal she has out there to basically bend a container to hold the cranberries like a trough that feeds. You pound it with stone. And she goes, "No, that is not it." And she hands you a hammer and says, "Take out the dents." And it is bad. She leaves and she says, "I will be back at night."
Yes, ma'am.
Do you cheat or do you manually pound out the metal?
My other mom is watching. I can't cheat.
I would say she would call for her to leave too. Leaving you by
Okay,
yourself.
then yeah, I totally cheat for sure.
Excellent. When you
They're
go to
both gone,
cheat,
I'm
what
cheating.
are you going to use to cheat?
I'll
Because
just
you can't bend metal. You just proved it.
Daggone it, but if I use air, I can create suction and make the metal go back, can't I?
You
Daggone
sure
it.
could.
Yeah, screw it. No one's around to see me. I'll do it.
That's not true. Would you like to talk about your new friend?
Naka! Yeah. So sorry, I got really excited. I'm so happy about this. With our last growth, I took a move from the playlist of the bold, which is to get a little friend. And so Frank House told me to make a friend that was not an animal that currently existed. And so I made
avatar,
Naka.
yep.
Yes, and so she is a racco bat. She's a raccoon and a bat. Yeah,
So we're working on art for that.
Okay,
So that's going to
that's good.
happen too, just like Tum Tum. Rakubat's going to have art. And when you named her, what was it? Naka?
Naka.
So Naka flies down whoosh, and lands next to you. And if anyone's played like Monster Hunter, that big white bat, it puffs up its stomach and blows air into it and makes like a humming noise for echolocation inside of the metal thing. And she looks at you and does it again, like, "I know you can do this." Ooh, and you hear the echo again come out. And she sits on the ledge with her little tiny human hands eating cranberries.
Hello.
Are you going to airbend?
Yeah, I mean, she's the only one that's around. It's fine.
Cool. Would you like a +4 to doing it? Or would you like a -4 to keep it in this vicinity only?
I guess I'll try to keep it in the vicinity.
It's a -4. What
man.
isn't creativity what airbending rolls with?
I have no
I'm pretty
idea.
sure it is.
Well, that's awful for me because creativity is
I
my
know,
worst stat.
But creativity is what air nomads and stuff primarily go around. And you're trying to be creative with your power right now. So would you like the -4 or the +4 now?
I'll take the
got-
-4 because I rolled a 12, so it's fine.
So and it takes you a day or two. She comes back at night. It's not perfect. She comes back the next day. It's not perfect. And over the course of a week working with the metal, you get to try again. But we'll do that when we come back from break.
Fair enough.
Do we have another Tum Tum message?
Naka.
Please tell me we have another Tum Tum message.
Yes,
do.
we have another Tum Tum message. Our Tum Tum voice has sent us something. So mid-show break, about 9.5 minutes long. Go to the bathroom, grab something to drink, and Tum Tum will be there.
I'm gonna go feed my dog.
Yep.
Because
See you
she's
guys
all
soon.
over me.
See you in a bit, friends.
Bye.
There are legends of a mighty forge where the greatest tabletop weapons are smithed by expert crafters from the finest of materials. Only the strongest of adventurers may wield such relics. Weapons and armor forged from the strongest metals. Mystic foci for the forces of fate, carved from the finest stones. And unique treasures that cannot be found anywhere else in the realms. But beware, the forces of evil may find dark and powerful relics of their own in the online armory. Arm yourself with these gaming relics and equipment to take your tabletop adventures to exciting new dimensions. Go to NorseFoundry.com now to arm yourself with the finest weapons in the realms. And now, deep thoughts with Tum Tum. My village has recently been very interesting. We had these weird things that smelled bad and tasted bad, causing all sorts of problems at the village. So Tum Tum, being the hero that he is, tried to make them leave the village. I smacked them with my head and made them fly across the village. But then Mistress came and helped Tum Tum. But those bad, smelly things knocked Mistress down, and Tum Tum did not like that at all. And so Tum Tum smashed the things. Tum Tum used tongue and hand and butt to smash things and protect Mistress. And then Tum Tum put out fires. Tum Tum is very good boy, and Tum Tum gets belly rubs when Tum Tum is good. But now Tum Tum had no time to rest. Tum Tum had to go to the other side of the bog. There was weird, strange things happening, and Tum Tum took all the strangers and Mistress, and we jumped far away. There was weird smell in the bog, and it was turning to weird colors. And Tum Tum did not like it, but Mistress would not let Tum Tum help. Instead, Big Muck Muck Man, head tribe chief, he stopped it, along with new friend. She made big booms, and suddenly everything was okay. Humans chattered for a long time, maybe hours, maybe days. Tum Tum not so good with time, but Tum Tum was bored. So Tum Tum started to sniff and lick things. And Mistress said, "Don't do that, Tum Tum. You sit here and wait. We need Tum Tum." I said, "Of course you need Tum Tum. Humans don't know how to get along without Tum Tum. Tum Tum is greatest hero in village." Finally, after forever, humans quit talking and say, "Tum Tum, take us." And we went to another place. It was very small, too small for Tum Tum. But Tum Tum wanted to go anyway. So I tried. But first, weird hot hands tried to give Tum Tum belly rubs, but he hurt Tum Tum. He too rough with belly rubs. Belly rubs are one of Tum Tum's most favorite things, but he did not like the hot belly rubs. It was rude. Anyway, everyone goes deep underground and Tum Tum tries to go, but then Tum Tum cannot move anymore. And Tum Tum is stuck and Tum Tum is scared. He's curious. He wants to go further down. It smelled different. But he is stuck and he starts to squirm and start to panic. But then suddenly, Tum Tum is hugged with water. Water hugs Tum Tum all around the belly, and it feels very nice. It's like one giant belly rub. Tum Tum is very curious about this belly rub, but suddenly he is no longer stuck. And so Tum Tum gets out, and Mistress says Tum Tum has to stay. Tum Tum does not want to stay. Tum Tum is bored. Mistress is gone. Friends are gone. Tum Tum is sitting and waiting and bored. So Tum Tum goes on adventure because Tum Tum is curious and Tum Tum is greatest warrior in tribe. This has been Deep Thoughts with Tum Tum.
The wrong sound is never right. Don't let the wrong sound ruin the moment at your gaming table. Sirenscape has dozens of sound sets designed by gamers for gamers that add the atmosphere you need for epic tabletop gaming. See? The right sound sounds right. Epic games need epic sound. Journey to Sirenscape.com to download the app for free. And be sure to catch Sirenscape in action on Dragons and Things every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific on Twitch.
Well, we're back. I ran the dog out quickly, and we're back.
Yeah.
You guys all laughing at Tum Tum?
Yes.
Yes.
I miss Tum Tum. I didn't get to hear this one. Is it angry Tum Tum? That's what I was expecting.
Yes. Part of it was
Yes.
angry Tum Tum. The phrase
Yes.
weird hot hands came up in calling Adam weird hot hands at one point, which was my favorite thing.
Since I wasn't here, everyone's going to think it was me who made that, and I'm telling you, it is not me. So welcome back, everybody, after the break. We left off with our still Avatar in denial. I think that's going to be her tag now. Learning to metal bend, and she gets to re-roll one more time to try to get this. Reforming one of the sorters, the sorters in making for the cranberries. And she's been out there for over a week, repounding out the area, the metal that she dented with stone, by using airbending with her little animal companion, Naka. And Naka's teaching her how to blow air into it to reshape it.
Oh.
What's your second roll?
Cute.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't roll yet? Oh, even better. We're doing it live.
Didn't do it.
You know what can fix this,
live.
though? A cabbage bomb. 100% can fix this right now.
Honestly, though, I'm more than willing to blow this trough to smithereens if I don't have to do this again. Like, my mom's making me sit here and do this 12 hours a day.
For a week.
Okay. For a week. Do I still have the minus anything?
Are you going to hide it or no?
Okay, so here's my question.
Sure.
If I'm using airbend,
Thanks, Athena
Is it
and
like-
Matt.
blatantly
what up, guys?
obvious. Oh,
Is it blatantly
thanks,
obvious
no.
what?
Is it blatantly obvious that I'm using airbend? Like
One
versus
thing,
metal
yes. Have you
bending?
ever seen someone try to hide airbending as a non-pro? Yo, man, it doesn't look good.
Okay. So
If
Okay,
not,
here's-
and you roll a crit with the bonus, like the big bonus, everyone in the village is going to know something happened over there. That is what I'm giving you. I'm raising the risk because you're an avatar trying to hide it. It's like trying to put Mentos in a Coke bottle and not let it explode.
fair enough. Before I do this, I'd like to turn to my mother and just say, Mom, can I ask you something just really quickly?
I mean, if it's quicker than the amount of time it has taken you to fix this, yes.
When I was younger, was there anything like weird ever? Like
I mean,
before
you ruined an entire field, like that kind of thing?
Okay, yeah, not that. And if we could just stop bringing that up because personal growth and all. But like,
I mean, so far I've
maybe-
seen no growth. And she points to the metal piece of contraption.
Oh.
I would like to test your principle.
great, awesome. Let's go.
Are you denying it?
Let's
No,
go.
let it happen.
Right.
Screw it. After
Well,
that
hold on.
person,
I'm
there's
calling
no
you out.
self-growth.
So it's trust or self-reliance. I'm calling you out that you don't trust people and it's all been self-reliance and there's been no growth because you've been on your own forever. She's like,
Yeah.
you cannot get better because all you do is surround yourself with yourself. It's not how you get better. So I'm calling you out. I'm openly doing it.
I mean, she's
You
not
need to
wrong.
decide if you're taking it or if you're denying it. Usually you deny a call out. I will tell you, your mother has the ability, because it's your mom, to shift you 3.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I mean,
I
me as a
really wanna
GM can
go
see when I
through.
mention something that it already shifts you just as a human being.
Yeah, as a
I'm pretty
human,
sure she can
correct.
shift you 3.
If I accept it, do I have to accept like 3, or can I accept?
Yeah, you have to accept 3 towards self-reliance. If you would like to deny it and keep yourself at center or shove it back on her, because remember the way it works, they only have one principle as an NPC. And they have X amount of fatigue
then, I
boxes.
guess.
So you could do it and shift it back at her and be like,
Yep. I'll try
and
that.
you see your other mother in the background going, oh dear, like this, because like
Yep.
she can feel the fight brewing.
Oh, she's seen this before.
Yeah,
My peaceful mother has seen
she's
this
already
fight
like
before.
walking up to the fight to try to dissolve it. So are you denying
Okay.
it?
Yeah, I'm denying the
Denying
call
a call out is what you want. When you deny an NPC calling on you to live up to your principle, which she's trying to tell you that, you know, you're a self-reliant brat,
Yeah,
Zenny.
I know. Yeah.
So give me a roll. No penalties on this. You're not hiding no bending right now.
Okay, I got an 8.
So, on a hit, act as they say or mark 3 fatigue. On a 10 plus, their words hit hard. You must also shift your balance towards the called on principle. You are resisting the call
Yes.
out. You got a 7. I don't get
You
to
got an
shift
8.
you all the way. You're resisting it. Oh, you got an 8, sorry. It's still not a 10 up.
Yeah.
You can, on a 7, choose one. Clear a condition, shift your balance towards the opposite principle she's saying. So instead of self-reliance,
Trust.
you could put it towards trust. Or you can learn what their principle is if they have one. My question is, have you ever learned what your principle of your mother is? As hard-nosed as she is, have you ever learned it? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Would you like to
Not
learn your
with her.
mother's, or would
She-
you like to shift your principle?
Guards herself too much. I think I'll just shift my balance.
Okay,
I'll
so you're
shift to
shifting it towards
trust.
trust. All right.
Yeah.
You get one shift
3.
towards trust.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, not 3. No, that's just me backhanding backhanded compliment. She says, "All right then, Xenia, prove it," and she backs up. Are you saying what in response? Prove it. Then I'll tell you about your childhood.
Oh,
There's a reason that I ask.
I'm sure there
and
is.
I'll do it with airbending.
Okay, are you taking the -4 to keep it contained, or are you going all out?
Contained? No, I'll take
Contained
the
is
-4 to
-4,
keep
like
it.
just bending it, shaping it perfectly. If you take
Yeah.
the +4, I'll give you a +4 instead. But this is going to go big.
I would really
AKA
only like
village-wide.
to keep. I'd like to keep this to one person at a time, please. Maximum of my parents. So
And -4 is the
I'll take
highest I can
negative.
give, and a +4 is the highest I can give as a GM.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So it's just the -4. There's nothing. I
-4,
add to
but it's
this?
still creativity. Nope. Well, you know what? Yes. Trust. I'll give you your +1 for trust.
Okay, so -3. Okay, I rolled an 11, so 11 -3 is 8.
Okay, you boop, 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 and you finally get it back in shape. She goes, that's pretty good for someone who is an earthbender. And you want to learn metal bending. And Naka goes and blows like a horn. You're like, as it blows out all of its air. And she goes, what is that?
It's my friend.
And it blows her hair back out of her bun. It's like all disheveled. As it pushes her principal, whatever it may be, towards the other direction. And she goes,
down,
and your other mom walks up and pets Naka, and Naka jumps on her and gives your other mom like the mean eyes and snorts, and like wind comes out enough for them to see it. He's definitely got the ability to bend air on a light amount. And your other mother goes, just tell her.
Tell me what?
We thought it was going to be your brother.
oh,
You thought
You
it was
didn't
gonna be
know.
Finn?
Well, he showed more potential towards being able to do other bending than just earth. Zenny, it's not... We didn't know. He's your younger brother, correct?
Yes.
In the lineage, it's supposed to be the last born, and that's him. We didn't know that it had to be our situation.
Your situation, meaning that
Ours.
you know,
Family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Three
Family.
parental units. I'm aware.
I'm just saying we didn't know that it had to be that. Obviously, that is part of the situation. Look,
Okay. So
it's rumor that that tablet that is at the outside of the village that they're building a monument around to keep it safe from weather, aka prying eyes. It has our family name on it, but it could have been anyone.
Well, yeah, and that's just suspected, right? Like that doesn't actually mean anything, and that no one's gonna look at me
Yeah.
and think, "Oh, she's supposed to be the Avatar," because you all kicked me out for a really long time.
I didn't kick you out. Don't be like that. Drop it. You want me to drop it? You drop it. Stop bringing it up.
Fine.
It's the only reason I bring it up.
Fine.
We
But I'm
should
just saying.
go to the tablet. But we need all your friends. We need somebody who can touch most of the elements here to make sure you can read all of it.
Okay, well, Sormek is here, but I don't
Yeah.
know when Jade and Shay come back.
Well, unless you want the firebender in the village to help, I would say pick who you trust, because you may not want everyone to know what's on here.
No, thank you. They don't even know yet. Sormek doesn't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out
Well,
I could do
they're gonna have
airbending
to.
by putting Sormek back on a balcony.
Does he not realize that? Is he dumb?
No. Yeah, I mean, he's not dumb. He's just not. He wasn't observant in the moment. There was a lot happening. There was a lot of panic. And to be fair, there were two people that were not falling to their death who also did not notice. So I don't think we can really blame Sormek for that one.
If you want to learn more beyond what I can teach you or tell you, that it's in the family. I don't know anyone, and she like fixes her hair that's in the family, but I know that it is, and for you to learn more, we have to consult that. It literally has every earthbender and everyone who is trained at the old site on there. And they say wisdom is within the tablet. I don't believe in tradition that much, but there are people here who do. And they're not always wrong. So if we want to do this and you want to learn more, you're going to have to trust some other people. You pick them. I will never tell you who you should trust. That is not fair for me to say.
If someone has to do this and has to see my name on that thing and has to know about everything, it's those three, and I'm not changing my mind about that. So, and I guess Dad should probably know if he doesn't already.
Your dad already has an idea after the tablet. That he didn't know.
And you all just it's been 2 months and everybody was just like, let's not tell her.
Well, we wanted to tell you right away, but you hid it, so we waited.
Maybe I wouldn't have hid it if people had been honest.
You can't
upfront
blame people
about
for your
some things.
mistakes. Does this sound enough like her for you? Is this a pretty on?
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, great.
Your other mom. What is your other mother like? Because we have not had her talk. She's just been watching like that. Owl who hasn't spoke yet.
Yeah, she is essentially the complete opposite. She's like so
Okay.
caring and nurturing. She didn't come around a lot after I was kind of left out to dry, only because she was so afraid the same thing would happen to Finn.
Okay. So while she's petting Naka, and Naka's kind of nestled and wrapped around, and is now like playing with her water bending. Right, she's the water bender, correct?
Yes.
Water bending necklace. It's like little water filled glass pieces. She goes, "If both of you are done bickering, I think maybe the best thing we can do is speak to talk about this. Since he is the oldest and maybe the wiser of all of us, as stubborn as he can be, he has opened up a lot over the last year. I mean, it was his goal to bring Xenia back." And she looks to your mother. She's like, I know, but she had to come back on her own. Talk disagreed with you. Talk said we should go get her and bring her back. And she has a right to know that. So let's go to Talk and speak to him. And let's get the rest of her. And she looks at you, she's like, "Friends? Were they your friends? companions?
We will go with friends. I think friends is good. Yeah, friends is
And
good.
we will talk to all of them at once, and she can make the decision to tell them. Because she will make the right decision. And she just pats you like lovingly.
Thank you
And
so
I'm
much,
going to,
Mama.
as your mother, push you towards trust.
Yeah, I figured. I'll let that one happen.
Now, okay, she just does a +1. She doesn't do a lot. She's not abrasive like the other one. With that said, 2 months pass. Everyone starts to arrive back with their training and a lot of paperwork in Jade's area. Just stacks of paper on Tum Tum. Shay, you've went to school. You know she just got leather folio of leather folio of leather folio of leather folio of leather folio. Like just buried. Tum Tum is almost overweight of paperwork.
Probably got extra in his mouth.
Yeah.
When you land outside the village, and it is that huge, like, panoramic view of the village, everything has been repaired after the 2 months. On top of that, while you're in the city, I would like to ask the both of you, mostly Shay, because it's definitely in there, and secretly in Jade's field, did you look into how to build a pro-bending group? Because the last conversation was that the elk, the Ruby Bog, would fund a pro-bending team, and Vok would have nothing to do with it.
Oh yeah,
I've got look into it.
Yeah, I made a trial jacket with like a logo on it and everything too.
Oh really, Adam? Where's our logo?
Did you make it ourselves?
I'll send it to you. I only have one right now.
Did you make it yourself?
I did. Totally made it myself.
Cool. What move would you like to do that? Because I would like to get a roll, and then when you describe it, I don't tell us your roll. You can describe how good or bad it is based on your roll.
Yeah.
Oh, how I made the thing.
It's going to be creative. There's no way creativity is not the base skill.
Yeah.
So
and
you pick what move you think it would be out of those that fits your character. I would recommend luck because you don't seem like an artist.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
yeah.
As Tum Tum lands
Got an artist
back.
goal.
Yeah. I don't think there's an artist bone in his body. But he is creative, though, so that might get him by. I've seen friends pick up a paintbrush and do amazing things that have never painted. There was one person like that in art school. One. So
Only one.
as Tum Tum lands down and you're wearing the jacket and it pans back and some of the other Water Tribe members see Tum Tum bound in to the village proper, they show up because you guys have been gone for 2 months and everything is repaired. Things are beginning their defrost now because the frozen months are getting ready to end. They're starting to get everything up. You're back just in time for them to cycle up to check on all the cranberries. The red is, you can see it floating to the surface in the bogs they've thawed. And the kid comes up with his dad that you first talked to about pro-bending.
Oh,
The little tiny one. And he pulls on your leg. Older, but not a lot. It's only been a few months, but he is wearing...
Clara, right?
Yep. He is wearing the headband that he got 2 months ago from the pro-bending group that was here. You're now to be rivals. And he looks up and goes, look, and points at the proud headband that he's wearing. It's all covered in like water, and it's got the 2 colors of the cabbages on it. What does your piece look like? Did you step down?
Oh no.
Think if you gave a paintbrush to a 3-year-old. And yeah, and yeah, Shay's very creative, but when it comes to actual putting paint or pen to paper, not at all. I rolled a 4. It is.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it definitely looks.
This is like a Sokka drawing.
Yeah, it's like worse than a soccer drawing. Yeah, And it's upside
It's like the
down.
boomerang
It's
logo
also-
for weapons they decided to use. It's that bad.
Sorry.
Sorry, Magpie. It's a horrible drawing.
Oh.
I love you,
Yeah,
but it's so hard. I didn't know what it was. It took us forever.
Yeah, the frog face is like really
Jesus,
bad.
someone please clip that.
No.
So Tum Tum licks it, and somehow it looks a little better. As he slides a face in place. And the kid goes, "What's that losing team?"
Oh, excuse me.
Dude, hold on. Does Jade say excuse me?
Yes.
The kid looks at you and goes, "You don't watch Pro Bending. That's that team that signed up and doesn't have a team." The
You'll
Cabbage
see.
Crushers have a team. I got the paperwork. And he slides out this paperwork that is a painting and a drawing, and it's all of you on it.
What? All of
Yeah, look,
us?
that's
Like
you.
all four of
Look,
us?
Jade, that's you. Yeah, it's you, Jade. Look. And it's got the Vok in the background that says coach above his head in big bold
Oh, no.
letters.
Okay, I am going to deny that call out.
He's not calling you out. It is a fact. There's nothing to deny. Now, you can try to tell him that's not true. He's not calling out on a principle. He's simply showing
Okay.
you the poster that has been hanging in his room for the last month.
I'll lean over and say, You've had that poster for a long time and you never said anything?
No, you've been
Be
gone for a
quiet,
month.
kid.
How could I show you? His dad walks over and he's like, "Hey, did you see? He got the poster in the mail. We're invited to come watch it. The whole village has been invited to watch your guys' first pro bending group. Your first tournament. Well, first game. Actually, it's a preliminary to make sure that you're good enough. But we're all invited to watch." And the dad walks over and says, "We're super excited." And then he looks at Shay and goes, "What is that?"
Oh, no.
"Dad, that's the losing team that didn't make it."
Oh my God.
It was an elk frog. Yep.
Would either of you like to do something before the other two of the group show up? Is there anything you want to say to these two to try to repair this reputation that has now been bestowed upon you as Cabbage Crushers, even though you had no desire to be them?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Shay's like really hurt.
Should be. I'd be here.
He's like very like incredibly hurt that like he just kind of sits down for a second. He's like I told him we were gonna be the elk frogs, and I don't know why he put cabbage corn on there. And
Elk frogs.
All right, I'm
I
gonna
thought that was I thought that was the Cranberry Criers.
I'm not
Oh.
crier. I was just,
Oh my
I'm
God.
upset, and I'm really angry at myself. And
Cool.
Oh my God.
I would like to cause sadness as a condition. If you would like to fight this, if you would like to fight this, you can.
Can I do comfort and support? I feel so bad for Shay.
Perfect. Give me a comfort and support to stop the condition.
For good times and bad times. All right, here we
my
go.
Lord.
Yes.
An 8.
You're comforted. The condition does not take effect, but you do feel the Cranberry Criers is a
Oh,
horrible,
man.
horrible name. So as that happens, both Sormek and Xenia and Tok show up. Very serious look on Tok's face. And you also see her mothers. Both of them are there, her biological and her other mom. You see Kaya and Neo there. As they walk up to the group, Tok immediately says, "I know that this reunion is a 2-month coming, but I believe Xenia needs to speak to all of us."
Yeah, can we go somewhere that's not, public, please?
Well, would you like to go into the longhouse, or would you like to make it out into the field? And he kind of gestures towards where they're building like the gazebo style structure over the tablet.
We should head to the tablet. I think we'll probably need it.
As you look over there, he's already called the workers off for the day. In like good faith that you're going to do what you should do.
Good call, Dad. Good call.
Talk looks to you and says, Xenia, do you want your mother and I there, your mother's and I there, or would you like to just handle this with your friends first?
I think this is a private
prepare
conversation.
Your speech.
Yeah, we'll catch up later.
So the camera kind of sees all of you making your way towards it, and then the three parents next to each other, like really close for the first time. Like there's a little bit of pride as you walk away. Like maybe she's actually going to grow up. Like that moment that parents have. We'll see if that's true.
How great for them.
I'm going to give you a brief conversation between the four of you, making your way towards the tablet. Who opens the 2-month kind of silence of everybody being gone? Oh, and he has an ugly jersey on. Just keep that in mind the entire scene.
I see him keep looking at me like, don't ask. Please don't ask.
Hey,
Xenia
everyone, look what I
just wants
made.
to throw up, so...
Oh.
Or are you saying, look what I made?
Yeah.
What?
I made a prototype of my cabbage bombs. And they're miniature.
Stockpile that you brought with you.
I do have like a big regular size, but I have cherry bomb size ones.
Is that for the minor effect and the majors for the big ones?
Yeah.
That's like a
Yeah.
And then there's some random duds in there because you didn't build any of them. You're just using them.
Yeah.
Are you gonna throw one?
I'm gonna
To show
throw
it?
one of the tiny ones, like a cherry bomb. So now it's like a cabbage bomb instead
Cool,
of a
you throw
cherry
it.
bomb. So I just
What skills and training is that? What you want to use for this?
sure, yeah.
And then what stat do you think is reliant for that? What
Ooh.
stat would you use?
I think creativity for this one. Let's see.
Perfect. I would like to remind you
Ooh.
took these from there. What did you get?
I got a 10.
Excellent. It should have been a small explosion. It's not.
Oh, no.
It's a big explosion. Like craters the ground. Everyone in the city turns and looks out
And I,
to the puff of smoke in the sky. And they all go, ready? The camera cuts and they all go, Shay.
As a reaction, just on impulse, when the boom goes off, can I shoot a sheet of ice over it? One to just flex, show them my new skill.
Maybe.
but also,
Give me a roll.
Yeah, let's try it.
So much for that.
What do you mean? It's perfect. It did exactly what you wanted. It exploded.
7.
Like, oh wait, maybe the small ones are the big explosions and the big ones are the small explosions. What did you get?
Rolled a 7.
That's enough to contain some of it. It poof, and it's just the smoke instead of fire and explosions and whatever comes out of it, like cabbage confetti.
What do you do? What was that?
Ice? Is it just ice that coats it? What does it look like?
Yeah. It's so I spin, sort of surprised by this explosion that nobody was expecting, and just Sub-Zero style shoot ice out along the ground
And kind of contain it, put the fire out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love it.
And I would just like to point out that Xenia, you're seeing all these people do new stuff. They've all been off training.
Hey, Epic Fumbles. Welcome for the raid. Hey,
They've all been off training.
Raids tonight.
And making your way back towards the tower, towards the tablet. Shay, do you say anything, or are you still upset about the Cranberry Criers?
I'm still.
Do you
really
show
upset
anything
about
of you just sobbing?
I'm
sorry, containing the sobbing.
I'm containing. I just got my head down. Maybe a tear. Maybe
All right.
a tear. As I,
So then-
as I think about destroying my prototype.
The scene transitions to standing outside of this stone gazebo. It is still raining outside, down on top of this gazebo, and it's kind of raining off. And this is big. It's not even. It's like a structure. It's not a gazebo, but it's open air. Is why I'm saying that. There's some mesh and stuff like that that can be closed, shutters, things along those lines that keep it safe in case a storm whips through. But when you get there, there's no one else at the tablet besides the four of you. And this should be under construction. And Sormak, you know as well that it should be under construction. They're not done building this. They have cleaned it off. The tablet has been maintained. Minor damages have been repaired. And Xenia, as soon as you walk up, there is definitely a feeling of something else here.
Ooh. Something else like...
There's just a feeling of something else here. You look around, you count Tum Tum, the four of you, but there is something else present when you are near this tablet. You did not feel it when you took it out of the swamp. You haven't felt it if you've come here to look at it. And that's a good question. Have you come and looked at this at all during your 2 months, or have you just been away from it?
I think the only time that she does it is when she knows no one's around. So like in the dead of night when the construction workers are gone.
Okay. Naka is sitting on Tum Tum. They're not coming up to the gazebo, but Naka and Tum Tum, it's resting where you would sit on Tum Tum, like resting in the net, eating stuff. But there's a presence here that's none of you. There's something. And everyone is here because you were to tell them something.
Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of go up to the tablet and make everybody come stand with me. Okay, so you see this name right here. That's my mother's name, like my mother's family. So Mike and I share a dad, but not a mom. And that is on there because I found out some stuff. And that day in the temple, when Sormek was supposed to plummet to, the bottom of a abandoned town, and he didn't, and he was back on the balcony, and no one really questioned how that happened, which I was very thankful for at the time. Sormek only made it up because apparently I can airbend now, and I think I can do other things, and I'm kind of freaked out about it.
You can airbend?
Xenia, that's amazing news. Why do you look scared?
That's a really strong word. Okay, so if your name is on here, it means that your family was thought to be like maybe a part of the whole Avatar lineage thing, and being the Avatar is really freaky because you're supposed to like be able to save people, and I can barely save myself.
Korra's still out there. There's no new Avatar. Maybe you just got like those spontaneous air bending powers that happened a couple years ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like what happened with Tenzin. I mean, Tenzin's been over at the temple in Republic City training everybody, but that's freaking awesome!
I mean, it's cool. It's super cool. You're airbending. That's amazing. Wow. Yes, sorry. I didn't mean to take away from that, but...
No.
I don't know that we need to jump straight to Avatar. Maybe, I mean, that just seems... you just spontaneous airbending. I mean, that's super cool. Are you going to go live as a nomad? Don't go live as
No, no, thank you. No, thanks. That... Not my thing.
Wait, that
you still eat meat?
That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, that's there's nothing like in recorded history that I've ever read that like there has been multiple avatars. I mean, especially if Korra's still out there somewhere. I mean, but how would you have gotten that though? Did I say that's freaking amazing?
You did, and I very much appreciate your enthusiasm because it's making up for my lack of it.
Sorry, I'm just writing everything down that you're saying. That you keep talking with it. There's like tablet with names on it.
Yeah. So the way that Dad like explained this whole thing to me is that like the names on the tablet have to do with like the people they were looking out for, because after Korra there should have been an Earthbender avatar. Like that's the order it all goes in. And apparently Mom and Dad and Mom thought it was supposed to be Finn, and
They knew about
sort
it?
of like apparently they thought that Finn like showed like promise in doing other elements and stuff, so they've been watching Finn really closely for years, but they like sort of half suspected me, kind of, but then they didn't say anything, and then after the stuff at the temple went down, they still didn't say anything, which made my job a lot worse because I've been trying to hide it for forever, and I may have like messed up a couple small things in the process, not nearly as bad as like a big thing.
You hear your
but just-
mom's voice. Stop mentioning it, Xenia. Let it go.
I
You just
did
hear it in the background.
I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, yeah. And one night when mom was trying to teach me metal bending, that's when Naka found me because I was using airbending to cheat because mom was trying to make me hammer out the metal in the trough that I kept messing up.
Wait a second. Okay. Started off as an earthbender. Now you can do some airbending, and you're trying to do metal bending too. And that little cute thing is yours too? Oh my god.
Yeah, her name's Naka. She's perfect.
It blows all of your papers that you're working on.
Oh no.
Naka, be nice.
There was a cranberry
but-
at him.
The initial shock of you telling us that you airbend, Sormek's gonna get real quiet.
Oh,
Xenia,
ask
who
why?
makes the rules anyway? Oh, sorry.
Certainly not me.
Sormek, did she inadvertently push your buttons for principal or something?
Oh well,
I mean, the avatar is a pretty traditional thing.
yeah, but
Mhm.
just
Kind
I
of
mean,
why the goal when I told anybody first was going to be Shay, because I was afraid I'd mess up things with Sorvin.
I don't know why you didn't trust me enough to say something before now.
I didn't tell anybody.
I would like to say you lose him for your guardian for the rest of the
I used
episode.
what?
As a guardian, he can no longer be your person.
Whoa.
No!
Oh my
Just-
gosh.
He did it, not me.
Oh.
I would like that to be my move until it's repaired.
You've
Sormek, I
known
didn't
for
mean
months
to.
now, and you
I've known for
fine.
2
You-
months, and I
I
didn't
understand.
tell.
You don't trust me.
Tell
That's fine.
anybody.
I understand.
No, Sormek, it's not like that. It's not.
Yeah, no,
I
no, I understand.
Sormek, it's not like that. It's not. It. You can't just go back to believing that people trust and believe in you when things happened, you know? And I
Nope.
didn't want you to get hurt, and I didn't want anyone to get hurt, and I didn't want to be the Avatar. This is stupid. You like hear all these stories of Korra, and she was a toddler and she could firebend, and I'm 17 years old and I airlifted you by accident because I thought you were gonna die.
Yeah,
Shay, you would know this, that in history, there are ones that were not toddlers when they learned to do this stuff. Like, there are ones that learned in their, like, 40s to be an avatar.
And that's not entirely strange for somebody your age to learn something like that. Especially at your age. I mean, even Avatar Aang. I mean, he was older than toddler. You know, he was 10 when he found out, and even like before, over 300 years ago, there were other there was an air nomad. He's trying to like look through his notes, and it's just all like disheveled now too. Yeah, there was like 30, like in mid 30s and everything. Your little thing just blew away all my notes and stuff. But yeah, no, I look. I get it. It's got to be scary, especially if it's something like that. And Sormak, I mean, I don't know how a lot of your family issues like happen and everything, but I guess I could kind of understand why she didn't want to tell anybody, and I know she wouldn't want you to be hurt by it.
I didn't want any
No,
of you
it's-
to get hurt. That's why I didn't say anything.
It's fine.
No,
Now,
it's
there is a
not
large
fine.
tablet in front of all of you, this 40-foot tall monstrosity, that feeling of something being present is still very, very strong. And it feels like it's in the area that you're in, but you see nothing. I would like to use a move as the GM towards the entire group. Up to the group who would like to fight this. And I am going to say that with the sleet and rain that's going on as we're transitioning seasons, there is definitely something outside of this monument that has been built in the cover to it. First, I want to know who is willing to accept the move I'm going to do. All I'm going to tell you is you're going to see something.
Ooh. I'll do it.
Okay.
Why not?
You didn't have
Nothing
a choice.
can get
You're the only
worse
person
for
who doesn't
Xenia.
get a choice on this.
Oh,
Actually,
okay,
that's not true.
cool. Never
You
mind.
do get a choice on this. If you want to deny it further, I'm fine with that.
No, I'll do it. I've said it out loud at this point.
Okay, and that's
I've
why I'm
already
giving everyone the
screwed up
option.
everything.
I'm
do
kind
it.
of psyched about it. I'll do it. Yeah.
Sormek, that leaves
not gonna
you.
see it.
The untrusting Sormek right now.
Yep. Nope.
Nope.
Xenia's
Feelings
the
are
one with
hurt.
the trust problem.
For the rest of you, actually, hey, Sormek, take your muffs off so you can't hear us.
Oh,
For the rest of you, in the rain that is coming down around, making a sheet at this point, in this kind of touching moment between everybody, you see silhouettes walking towards the monument. And one after another after another. And the presence that Xenia was feeling before multiply. As the waters part, as the forms come through, it actually separates the rain. As avatar after avatar after avatar after avatar walk up and all put hands on the monument. And Koshi appears in the front of it along with Korra, spirits. And they go like this to Xenia with a spot in the middle to put her hand on the stone.
Ooh.
Do you or don't you do it? You can deny
No, I'll do it.
100%.
I'll do it.
When you go up to do it, you take full fatigue and pass out. Unless you get a 12 up on a roll, you can pick your stat.
I get to pick what stat I roll it with.
It'd be the one you're probably strongest in.
Thanks, focus. Yeah, focus is what's gonna happen.
You need a 12 up. There's no assistance from anybody on this one.
No.
Okay,
I got
she
10.
passes out. The scene transitions.
You're good. Oh.
I can't
Xenia
believe she
passes-
died! Oh my god! No!
Xenia she puts her hand on the tablet and passes out, falls to the ground. And there is a slight blue glow that follows her as she passes out.
Whoa.
What just happened?
Where would we like to transition this scene to?
Rushing her to safety because we didn't know what the heck just happened.
You pick her up, rush her to safety.
That's my initial instinct. We put
What did-
her
what did you-
on Tum Tum,
Okay.
and if everyone's riding Tum Tum, everyone
Mm-hmm.
remove like one fatigue on their fatigue thing.
Oh, yeah, because you're
Except
taking
that
travel
doesn't
with her.
include
Oh, man. So,
Yeah.
Xenia, you're still out. That will remove one fatigue, but you are still out. Xenia, what did you roll?
A 10.
Oh, you just shy. You're out for like a week. You'll
Oh my
fully rested when
gosh.
you wake back up. The entire village watches you hop in. Do you bring her right to talk and her parents?
Yes.
They rush her into the facility where they treat injuries when people get wounded. They let nobody else in. They aren't secretive about it, but they don't talk about it. But over that course of a week, it starts to stir. And more people start asking questions. What is going on? Why are you hiding her from us? Is she okay? Is she going to die? All of these questions happen For everyone but Xenia, how do you help the family keep this private until they know what's going on? Or do you not keep it private? Between the three of you.
I'll keep it private.
Okay, that's one private. Shay?
Yeah, I would keep it private for sure. I'm excited.
Talk. Talk is going to keep it private. The two mothers would like to keep it private, but of course, Nao says if you feel you need to tell people about her being ill, I understand, because that's just what she's like. She doesn't want to hide things from people. But Sormek, you didn't see anything. And in the time that you've landed, has anyone told him what they saw?
No, not me.
No, yeah, I would be taking more note and just trying to figure out myself as well too. I think in time
they're not doing it on purpose. They're not doing it on purpose, but I would like to push your principle, sir. I would like to push it, and I would like to push it towards not tradition, because you didn't want to see it, and she didn't tell you. And I think for the two people not telling you, I would like to push it too.
Ugh.
Are you going to fight it and just help them still keep it secret, even though you don't know, and trust them? Or are you going to deny it and take the push of two?
So, all right. Sormek is very confused right now.
You should be.
You know, Xenia just collapsed. Things are being very strange, but most importantly, she didn't tell me that she knew something was going on. And I don't know exactly what is going on, so I'm not gonna spread it to the tribe or anything, because it's not my business. But I take a step away from the family while they're going through this, and I kind of dive into my machinery, and I'm gonna take the 2 steps towards progress.
Awesome.
Away from
Can
tradition.
all the rest of you take your earphones off, please?
Oh. Whoa.
I've got everything muted too, so I can't hear amongst any.
Sormek, when you walk into your area where your pump is, it's sitting there, and next to your pump there is a kind of like the old school radio magnifier that, you know, like the play sound, and you hear over it, you hear Vox's voice. Hello, Sormek? Sormek? Can you hear me? Is this thing working? I don't know how this works. I didn't make it.
Yeah. Hello?
Hit the button and talk when I'm not talking. Don't talk when I'm talking. It only goes one way. He has that announcer voice that he had previously when he was doing all the pro bending stuff. He goes, listen, I heard there's problems in the village. My little spy in the village has told me that there's a lot of chaos going on.
Wait, you have a spy in the village?
Of course I do.
Okay. There's nothing going on. It's nothing. It's family business.
Well, family business is possibly my business and worth a lot of money. I know that people tried to steal something from that village. Can you tell me what it is, and I might be able to help you? I may not know how to do technology, but I do have a network of knowledge.
Oh, that was just some old tablet with a bunch of names on it. That was
Would it be really
nothing.
large?
I don't even know what
about the
that
size
was.
of a tree? Remember, don't
it was
push the
massive.
button. Don't talk when I push the button.
Oh. Can I push?
Now hold it down.
Okay, I'm pushing. Okay,
Let's
I'm
go.
pushing the button now.
Yes! He like yells over it. Is it
Okay.
the size of a tree?
Yes, it's. Hello, I'm pushing the button now.
Is it the size of a tree?
Yes, it's massive.
I will be there in 2 days.
Oh, you probably shouldn't
Go
come
find
here
Huss.
right now.
Go find Huss and talk to Huss, which is the warrior that got Xenia kicked.
Are you saying that Huss is the spy?
I'm saying you should talk to him. I did not admit anything about a spy. Over and out. Click. And it empowers down.
Hello?
Everybody
I'm
else?
still pushing the button.
Nothing. Add that to your equipment,
Hello.
by the way.
And now we're back.
We're back.
And we're back.
We've returned.
Oh, some interesting stuff.
1 week passes. You wake up. You feel refreshed. All your fatigue is gone. Your family is around you. When you wake up, are any of the three of you there? Okay, you're not.
next to her.
Sormek isn't.
I'm there.
Okay, you're there.
I'm
Jade,
there.
are you there? Or would you show up shortly after she wakes up? Okay. Sormek,
Yeah.
do you ever show up until she leaves the infirmary?
Nope.
Excellent.
Ooh,
All right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I need one last thing before we do our goodbyes tonight, and I need it from Xenia. Your brother has not shown any help, support. Your family is, but it's kind of traded off. Like who you used to support and you support you no longer is. Thank you for playing into my hands. I mean, enjoying this episode thoroughly. And my question to you would be this. Do you use any of your airbending over the course of you being awake the next 24 hours, 48 hours to make sure everything is good? After what happens, do you
Yes.
test earthbending and test airbending?
Yes.
Okay. Are you embracing that you're the avatar, or are you just embracing that you can bend air?
I think in the like brief moments right before she passed out, there was like this realization of like, if I can see all of them and they are all here, I know what Sormek said is wrong. Like this is not spontaneous airbending. This is put up or shut up. Like I don't get to walk away from this anymore. I tried for 2 months. It did not work.
Well, you learn
just
faster than some other
I'm gonna have
avatars.
to deal with this.
Here's how I
so
will
yeah,
say this. Your
he's-
airbending can be used only when you are towards trust and not self-reliance. At least until you get it mastered.
Okay.
Once you get it mastered, you can have the chance of learning another bending style. I mean, there's a whole water tribe that could teach you.
Yeah.
And you have a firebender and a master firebender who works here, Zufo. So as you bend air and do everything, I want to close with one thing that just a tidbit so the other three can see it. Does Sormek talk to that person at all that you were told to speak with?
Yeah.
There is a scene that we're going to close on as the camera pans back in the rain between the winter turning into spring, the shadows next to one of the buildings of Sormek speaking to somebody. And the man steps out and the voice is familiar. He's like, listen, he is willing to save this place. They're going to backfill all of the tribe in the entire bog. And if we work with him, he is willing to amplify our production tenfold. He's going to bring in all the machines that you could ever want. And Huss steps out of the shadow speaking to Sormek. Vok wants to help. Just let him. He's helped me. And that's where I'm going to close us for the night.
That
Oh.
dirtbag, I hate him.
Oh, that's
Get
good.
out of this stupid place. I am going to burn that man to the ground. As soon
We're
as I
traveling for the
have
rest of
something.
these episodes. Now, we do have a question to the group. I need you to decide between now and our next episode. And with the fact that we have someone missing, I have an idea of what we're going to do for next episode.
Oh,
I need to know if the cranberry cryos are a thing, or you're going to let Tok and the family build a pro bending group for you. Because if so, could you please go to our map area? Because secretly, those two pro bending friends and family have been building an area to make an outdoor pro bending training area. And it is in the Spirit Fields. And they are making a pro bending area here for you all to train at if you're interested in making your own pro bending thing. So
oh
between
my gosh.
between those two family members, the kid and that, they have been training here. They've like chalked the area. They have like basins with water around the outside. They have braziers so you can train in pro bending. But they think it's because you're training under the cabbage crushers. And they wanted it to be a surprise for you for our next episode. You need to decide if you're coming in with the cabbage crusher gears on, or if you're going to let Shay draw a whole bunch of horrible art and you're going to wear the jerseys for the Talk Tribe, or find somebody in the family, as our next episode is going to be the beginning of training for pro bending, while Sormek is going to handle everything we just discussed.
Oh.
And you can do whatever you want with that.
Because...
Justice, I'm not going to tell you anything.
Yo.
You can make your decision. You can do whatever you want with it. It's all up to you, buddy. I'm putting it in the GM justice court to do what they want with the information I gave them.
All right.
I'm not drawing.
And you're going to fess up to what? You're not a pro bending fan, or you're going to fess up to being a pro bending fan?
I'm going to fess up. I already ratted out by this kid that I'm the coach, right? Like, it's in the poster.
No. He said
everything.
Vok was the coach. He said Vok was the coach.
Oh, Vok was the coach.
Yeah. But if you want to take over the position as coach, oh my lord. So
I do have my my jersey inside of Tum Tum's mouth, so.
Well, that would be amazing. That is it for us tonight. I mean, we have a lot of shows on the DAT network over the next couple of weeks. We're back on air now after some travel. Adam, do you want to give us the rundown on what's going on, and we'll kind of go around?
Yeah. So tonight we've got obviously Avatar Legends Book 1 Harvest. Tomorrow night, I actually do believe, is our final episode of Shambhala. Yeah, it's either tonight or next Friday. I'll double check with that. But then we've also got Kings of Dirt coming back, an ultimate episode on Saturday night with a special guest. Mr. Eric Frankhouse is going to be jumping up with us. For the
I
next couple
can't
episodes.
wait for everyone to see what I'm playing.
I'm worried, but not worried. It'll be fun. But I am worried because he's probably going to try to murder us, as he most does. He'll probably get a chance in this game. Sunday,
I can't kill anyone in this game, so I got to let it out somewhere.
Sunday, Voyage of the Siren Song comes back. That'll be our penultimate episode as well too. Dice is Right. Oh my goodness, so much stuff is ending and everything. I think Dice is Right is off this upcoming week. The Greatest Role on Earth, our Tuesday show, just had our season finale this past week, and Odd Jobs comes back for their season finale next Wednesday. We will be back for Avatar next week as well too. It'll be the week after that we will be gone again because the majority of our cast is going to be not.
We'll be at Gary Conn.
We'll be at Gary Conn.
We'll be at Gary Conn.
Gary Conn.
With, actually, 3 of us, I think, are at Gary Conn's. I think, Monica, you're going to be there as well, right?
We're Cabbage Bomb
there.
Are we going to see Cabbage Princess there? Are we going to see...
I'm going to rush this. Yes. I got my fabric last weekend, so...
Yes!
But other reasons too, but I really do need to finish it.
Cabbage maces. I want to pose with cabbage maces. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, so that's Dat Network for me. We're actually, Diane and I, we're going to be over filming Harbingers season 2 next week. And that'll be popping out for April. And if I have some time, we'll be able to try to pop over onto, if we can make any Duskfall Syndrome and some Ogre Force next week as well, too.
So wait, you are here for Duskfall, right?
We're probably going to be late for it because we're filming Harbingers and stuff.
It's all right. I have a plan.
Oh.
We can be late, and I'll probably be late for Ogre Force as well too because that'll be over on Eric Frankhouse Presents next week.
I have a plan for you being missing. It's going to be great. Don't worry, you'll still be alive. I promise.
Perfect.
Does Geeks at Go have anything going on? Any new reviews? Anything new coming out from Geeks?
For now, I do have a lot of stuff that needs to be produced. A little bit of hush hush at the moment. Produced. Cosplay wise, I have some stuff that I'm working on that I can't talk about really But yeah, like just keep an eye on that. I am doing my streams on my builds on my own Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/geeksagogo, and I talk about cosplay, and you can ask me anything about building cosplay and whatever.
What goes
So yeah,
inside of a
that's every
cabbage
Tuesday
maze?
night. Yeah,
That's my only
absolutely. Yeah,
question. What goes inside a cabbage
I
maze?
did 2 of them already. Yeah, it's like I just need to paint them now. So I think that's gonna be next week's session is painting them.
Awesome. Well, Xenia, Moxie, what do you got going on? Is your season finale finally happening? Are we there?
Yeah, it's this Monday. This Monday
Oh.
is the season finale of Everyone's Forgotten, which
no.
I am equal parts like so excited for and also so sad because it's my very first campaign that I've ever GM'd and wrote, and I wrote the system that we play, and I'm
Proud
really
girl.
sad that it's leaving.
Amazing.
Oh, thanks.
You'll run more. Don't act like it's the end all. You'll have more in the future.
You know, we'll see what happens. So we've got that on Monday. Obviously, you find me here on Thursdays. On the Thursdays, you don't find me here. You also find me at Homebrews and Homebodies, which is where we play Everyone's Forgotten. It's not this coming week. It's the next week. I'm on Be Gay Do Crime.
Yes,
maybe the week after that. Yes,
the ads for that were hilarious, by the way.
it's one of my favorite shows. I've been on it twice now. And if you don't know, it's run by No Man. It's all LGBTQ plus streamers, and we play as members of the Alphabet Mafia, and we are there to further the gay agenda, one crime at a time. It's great. It's so much fun.
Lock, stock, 2 smoking barrels of gaydom.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Best.
You say amazing.
It's so
amazing, yes.
Amazing.
Those are all of the like regular shows that I'm on at the moment. I'm prepping for a couple more shows that haven't been announced yet, so I'm not allowed to talk about them yet.
Which brings me to somebody.
I'm writing other stuff. So
can you,
Everyone's Forgotten may have more seasons. We'll see.
I was gonna say, can you say the release of your game and when it's gonna happen?
Me?
You? Yeah, you.
Oh,
when your game comes out for
yeah.
people to buy.
So it'll be published.
I'm putting a deadline on you right now.
I know you are.
Oh.
The goal is that it should be released the day of the Talkback episode for season 1 of Everyone's Forgotten, which is not this Monday but next Monday. So the 7th.
Sure, that sounds like a date.
That sounds
Where can
correct,
people get it?
maybe. No, that's too late, probably. I will the link and stuff will be all over Twitter and stuff as soon as it's published. I'm fixing up the very last things with that right now. So I just want to make sure that I do it right before I say anything out loud and permanently put it on the internet. But I did a bunch of formatting stuff for it. Literally this morning, I'm going through and rewriting a couple of spells that didn't get used on the show that I just think could be better, and just things like that at this point.
So final touches.
Really
We got it. You got it.
but,
You're perfecting something that should already be out. Check.
Yeah, exactly. It should have been
I know this.
released forever ago, but here we are.
Justice, you're going to be busy the next couple weeks between the trade show and the regular show. But are you allowed to talk about what you're doing? Anything new that you can say?
Well, tomorrow night is our final episode of Bolton Rampart.
Awesome.
That is over on Bard and Barbarian, twitch.com/Bard and Barbarian. It's a 3-part episode for Jasper's Game Day, Call of Cthulhu, Raising Charity. We've already raised $1,000.
Dope.
That starts at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. It's absurd and spooky and hilarious and a lot of fun.
Talon and Claw?
Beyond that, I'll be at so I'll be at Gary Conn and Gamma. So if anybody's there, come say hi. 1985 Games. Right now, Talon and Claw has their Kickstarter going on, and we have our journals in there. They're
amazing. I got to see them at PAX.
These handy dudes right here.
Oh,
They're pretty sharp. And Talon and Claw sized their new rolling trays to fit these perfectly. So it's a nice all-in-one, take everything and go.
And what all the journals are there?
overnight-
There's a couple different versions, right?
Yeah, so there's a player journal. They come in a 3-pack, and that's what's part of the Talon and Claw. and then there's a 3-pack of DM's journals that come with 2 campaign notes, 2 session notes, and a campaign note. So one for building out your whole world, and then 2 notebooks for building out your individual sessions. Now it is all D&D 5e focused.
I mean, that's the majority.
I'm working on them. I know. Yeah. I want. We're working on it.
Let me know when you get that PFT.
We're also launching. Yeah, we're launching a Kickstarter this month on the 22nd. It is for our Sharp Edge Resin VHS dice. So they are
see those
Sharp
at PAX
Edge
too.
dice.
Cool.
Yeah, that came in this cute little VHS style box.
I just want the box.
VHS cassette. See what I can do.
Well,
and then I got some more stuff
play
coming in
games
April.
too.
Yeah.
I'm excited that you guys are working with Talon and Claw. They put out some amazing stuff. I didn't even know it was happening until recently. Super dope. You guys have a booth at GaryCon then? Do you know the booth number?
Yep. 173. We're right across from Norse Foundry.
Oh, I'll definitely see you. So for me, this is simple. You guys know who I am. You can find me on Norse Foundry Monday and Wednesdays, and the first, second, third of every month. First, second, and third Monday and Wednesday of every month. We'll be back this week with Dustball Syndrome and One Dead Lingo. I mean, in prison. I mean, injured Lingo.
What about Diana?
and
Diana
then-
won't know she's alive.
She'll be fine. And I no reason to kill her. She's creepy. She's great. And then I will
love a creepy
be
character.
this
We love to
Tuesday for Ogre Force. And Friday night, obviously, you'll see me doing game time. But this Saturday, I'm going to double feature again. You already know I'll be being here back playing in Slit Lid's game. But I'm also going to be on Band of Badgers with Diana playing in our spooky Malevolence game. I'm super pumped for that.
Oh, yeah.
But follow me. Eric Frankhouse presents everywhere. You know me. You've seen me. And yeah, I hope tonight was not what me and
My
Podcast was
Diana too.
expecting.
You get a.
You're Diana too.
gotta
That's
play with-
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's at night. I'm talking during the day. She's on my night show. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I get to play games all day on Saturday. It's fucking amazing.
My Diana.
And his Diana. You share Diana's.
Double
I don't know what to
Diana.
say. Double
All the
D's. What do you
Dianas.
want? She put Diana's. I just said D's.
2 of the
Well, have a good
Dianas
night,
of the
everybody.
Council of Diana.
Are we rating it? Are we right? Are we
Yeah,
rating
you know what?
anyone?
We're gonna go over and raid Drew. Strength 24.
So before
He's
you
up playing-
raid, can you put me to single cam?
I
Oh,
sure
why?
can.
I
All
mean,
right, friends.
you're gonna say
See you guys
something
later.
Gosh.
Yeah.
It's
Say
Frank
bye,
out.
everybody.
Bye,
So everybody,
Bye.
thank you for joining us. I just want to say this. The camera pans back, and in the dark of one of the buildings, you see Shay's mom making pro-bending jerseys that have, as it pans back, the elk frog with the ruby bog on it. And in the bottom corner, it says sponsored, and it has their family's logo for the candy shop. There are 4 of them made. We will see if they get them or not after they make their decisions. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
My whole heart.
Yeah. Bye.